Chapter 1324, the second round of challenges. Coincidentally, on the other side of the dining table, Sheolongnus the Sky Sword, a slime creature, watched Flora's flawless performance with a pensive expression. Indeed, would having a slightly larger chest be better? She reached out to squeeze her slightly protruding chest, feeling regretful for splitting this already limited essence into smaller parts. Inside the faceless god, in Yunshi's dragon jade, the green Pafu rolled around, protesting. Pafu! 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 It seems that Sheolongnus's regret about her own chest also affected the innocent and lovely Pafu. Among all the legend-ranked participants in the Red Heart Queen's masquerade, perhaps only Lilibet the Azure Excalibur was indifferent to the perfect interpretation of the Dusk Witch. Whether it's 89 points or 9 points, it has nothing to do with Lilibet. The first round is over. The highest score goes to the Great Witch Flora from the Witch God's domain, with 89 points. The second place goes to Lilibet with 71 points, tied with Cassina the Battle God. After ranking the participants of the first round, the 12 Nightmare Sovereigns had to admit that this was truly the highest standard masquerade of the Red Heart Queens ever. Even the last place Ouroboros scored 39 points, which was the lowest score in this edition, but considered above average in the history of the Red Heart Queen's masquerade. Many goddesses known for their beauty couldn't even score 30 points, which is the pass mark in the eyes of Nightmare Sovereigns. The rest of the 6 participants. Sheolongnus scored 63 points. Cassina the Battle God scored 71 points. The Golden Crow Princess scored 60 points. Cyber Elf Alpha scored 70 points. Lilibet the Azure Excalibur, 71 points. Dusk Witch Flora, 89 points. The past winners of Red Heart Queen's masquerade mostly scored around 60 points, with the highest record being Flora's 69 points. This time, there were 3 people at the champion level of 60 points, and 3 others broke the highest historical score of 69 points together, raising the highest score for the ladies at the ball to 70 points. What was even more astonishing was the score obtained by Flora, who appeared last. 89 points. This level of performance made all the goddesses who had participated in Red Heart Queen's masquerade in the past feel ashamed to show their faces. Even the Nightmare Sovereigns believed that this score was unparalleled, and it was unlikely that even Flora herself could surpass this record. Despite there being 2 more rounds of trials, the Nightmare Sovereigns unanimously agreed that Flora's advantage was nearly unshakable. With her naturally perfectionistic personality, overcoming her at this advantageous score was an impossible task. Even a powerful young god like Cyber Elf Alpha, who has the potential to create worlds, knew deep down that he would lose to the captivating Flora. At that moment, Flora, who had won both love and victory, felt proud. The only thing that puzzled her was why the Kara curse, which cost her 1/10 of her fortune to activate, had backfired on her. Fortunately, she had always admired her predecessors, so even though she was cursed, it didn't bother her much. Her heart just felt even more passionate. This is what love is all about. Next up is a short break time. Contestants can socialize freely and enjoy the delicious food brought by the Nightmare Chefs. The second round of trials will begin shortly. This time's trial will be completely different from the first round. Everyone, please prepare yourselves mentally. The 12 Nightmare Sovereigns announced the end of the first round of the ladies' stage, then proceeded to discuss their experiences at the Red Heart Queen's masquerade. What a wonderful party it was. This trip was definitely worth it. Flora is the big winner, just as I predicted she would be the favorite. I knew I would win this time. I said betting on Flora would definitely pay off. It's a shame, I only have this many leaves now, otherwise I would definitely bet more. Actually, Cassina the Battle God and Lilibet are also doing well. In any other year without Flora, they would easily win. This time Flora is really impressive. How can she act so dreamily? I'm almost falling for her just watching. In the void, Nightmare Sovereign, who bet on Flora, is all smiles, while those who bet on other contestants are full of regret. Including the banker Nightmare Sovereign, everyone believes that the winner of this year's Red Heart Queen's Masquerade is almost certain after the first round. The score of 89 is as unshakable as a mountain. Flora's elegance has surpassed all contestants of this year and previous years. Still riding the sacred unicorn on stage, Yunshi agreed with the Nightmare Sovereign's viewpoint that Flora was the most outstanding on this stage. Compared to him, who was not a very qualified prince, Flora as the princess was the main character. The emotion she displayed made Yunshi's heart pound, almost unable to resist hugging her and wanting to kiss her a moment ago. Fortunately, at the last moment, Yunshi stopped himself and preserved his integrity as a gentleman. "Flora, tell me, how can I make my chest bigger? Have you used demon dragon blood?" Even children like the Golden Crow Princess know that demon dragon blood is good stuff. "Yes, that's very realistic. Looks like I have to find that demon dragon too." Before becoming a mother, Longness actually didn't care much about the size of her chest. However, after having the adorable daughter White Moon, she suddenly missed her physique from her time as the Queen of Assyria. The Queen of Assyria, who is an adult, is not small at all. Unfortunately, the Queen of Assyria is only a part of Longness's personality. Longness's true self, well, her strength is probably less than 1/3 of the Queen of Assyria's. Recently, a part of it even split off, making things worse. Big breasts are amazing. Ouroboros was almost falling down drunk, his eyes spinning, speaking the absolute truth. Even if Flora doesn't think, she already has a minimum score of 60 points. Putting 15 points into her breasts would definitely be a big help. Even Ouroboros, who looks so useless and performed terribly on the stage for ladies, still got a decent score of 39. The bonus points for his breasts are definitely over 8. In this world, some things are just unfair. After discussing the topic of breasts enthusiastically for 15 minutes, Ada shook her wine glass, spilling out blood-red words. The second round of the ladies' stage is beginning. This time's challenge is the Prince's Confession time. Chapter 1325, Let's Get on the Ship, hee. The Red Heart Queen, immersed in the dance party, looked at the ladies below the dining table with the Nightmare Sovereigns in the void with a bewildered expression, and laughed happily. Wild and daring. Willful and mysterious. This is Red Heart Queen Ada. You will never guess what she will do, just like how there has never been a dance party in Nightmare World in the past. Only she has the privilege to be willful. The procession from Nightmare World, the teacup soldiers, and the gourmet chefs are not easily commanded by anyone. Not to mention, the Nightmare chefs who can create legend-ranked delicacies, are capable of challenging the high-ranking Nightmare Sovereigns. Unfortunately, whether it's the teacup soldiers, the procession, or the gourmet chefs, they only appear during the dance party, making Red Heart Queen Ada's position in Nightmare World unique. She is the only one who gets to decide theme for each dance party. This year's dance party has a blind date theme. In the first round, ladies from all over Endless God's domain, coming from different backgrounds and races, portray themselves as princesses to show their charm to the prince and earn points. In the second round, it's the opposite. The prince confesses to the ladies who just showcased their charm. Surprisingly, even the Nightmare Sovereigns never expected the second round to be like this. But, it's quite interesting, isn't it? The tipsy Red Heart Queen Ada had a pleased look in her eyes, eager to see how things would unfold. Why is it like this? Seniors should confess to everyone. The first one unable to accept this was Flora, who had just portrayed perfect lady charm. She could hardly believe that the challenge of the second round was so chaotic. 7 princesses show their charm to a prince and the prince confesses to all 7 princesses at the same time. Is this a real thing? Protest, protest, serious protest. If it weren't for the 12 nightmare sovereigns glaring ominously in the void, she would have wanted to elope with the bewildered senior on the stage right away. This is too harsh for the senior. Confessing to 7 women at the same time is like a public execution. Why can't you just get along with the senior? Flora doesn't want the senior to confess to anyone else. Oh, is that so? The curious Golden Crow Princess looked at the still expressionless god on the stage. She has never been confessed to by anyone in her life, but just saw Flora's perfect confession performance, truly a top student scoring 100 in love lessons. Flora was a student of the faceless god, and he was excellent as a teacher. Anyway, since everyone is a girl, it's okay to practice. Clearly, the innocent Golden Crow Princess had no concept of love between people of the same sex. Oh. Ouroboros opened its mouth, licking its lips, and looked greedily at the faceless god on the stage. To be confessed to, by a fresh and lovely girl, gulp, gulp, gulp. Hopeless, this useless snake. Cassina the battle god shrugged at Ouroboros's drooling expression. However, she was also slightly looking forward to it. This very ancient-looking deity, what will they say in this second round of challenges? What puzzled Cassina the battle god from the beginning was why she, as a prince, in the first round, didn't have any points. For now it looks like her test is in the second round. Looks quite interesting. Sheolongness squinted at the faceless god on the stage. Even though it was their first meeting, she felt a strange familiarity with this ancient deity. As one of the disciples of the Abyss, she wasn't the type who enjoyed being close to people. In fact, she really disliked forming relationships with others. From the faceless god, she felt a strange sense of destiny. Is it an enemy? Or a disciple from the same camp? Despite being a deity, the faceless god emitted a mysterious aura. Its inorganic yet beautiful face seemed unapproachable from afar, but it was not the case in reality. What kind of performance will this ancient god, in the guise of a prince, deliver? Why does she feel this strange sense of fate? Perhaps there will be an answer soon. Calculating, gathering information. Cyber Elf Alpha stared at the faceless god, starting to habitually build the database. Due to the lack of information about this mysterious ancient deity in the mechanical gods domain database, all the data is estimated and requires countless revisions to get closer to the truth. Elder must be very troubled. Why would there be such challenging challenges to people? Flora looked with compassion at the faceless god walking back and forth on the stage. Coming up with this challenge for the prince to confess to the 7 princesses, Ada was incredibly ruthless. Isn't this like publicly betraying 7 people? Amongst everyone, only Lilibet didn't care at all, since it didn't concern her. She just waited for the ball to end so she could continue pursuing Sheolongness. Just like Flora thought, Yunshi was really troubled. Why is the second round of trials in this form? Having to confess to all 7 of the legend ranked, including one who is their first love, isn't this disastrous? Unfortunately, he knows all 7 of the legend ranked except Flora. If this matter is exposed in the future, it will be a disaster. He will definitely die. How did a hero-ranked baker end up in this situation at the legendary ball? He shouldn't be here among all the legend-ranked guests. Why is he on this stage? Who allowed this Red Heart Queen's masquerade to begin? It was him. He's the one who got Red Heart Queen Ada drunk. Yunshi now understands the consequences of his actions. He has no choice. Below the stage, 6 out of the 7 legendary figures are watching him. There's no escaping, he has to face it. Yunshi is getting nervous, as if he can see a future where he's in trouble for getting involved in something he shouldn't have. Pafu! Pafu! Inside the dragon's gem, Pafu, who knows nothing about Yunshi's situation, cheers on his owner. No problem, master. Stepping on one boat or two boats is the same, stepping on more can improve your balance. Walking on a tightrope, it's like walking on flat ground. Ah. I know, there's nowhere to go. There's no road ahead, we can only board the ship. Endless Sea of Bitterness. Chapter 1326, Incorrect Usage of the Heavenly Demon. The boundless sea of bitterness, turn back to find the shore. Yunshi remembered the encounter with Master Maha Mystery on the starry sky chessboard. He was a true monk, a master of Buddhism. In the first round, when he was the prince, it was easy. He just had to stand still to get through. The faceless god never showed any expression, so it was impossible to tell what it was thinking. But in the second round, he couldn't just coast by. Confessing his feelings required showing genuine emotions. A prince wouldn't confess to a princess with a blank face, right? At that moment, Yunshi thought through all the battle skills he knew, but couldn't find a way to break the deadlock. Yunhai's quadrant sword had no solution for love. Even the sky-flying sword couldn't fly away from here. Whether it's a strong body or a soft body, battle god instructor Cassina was here. The god without a face went into a frenzy mode. Pafu seemed to be acting strangely. Offering bread as a bribe to the contestants, wouldn't that make you die even faster? Is there a way to instantly become a master of love confession? And it's the kind of super quick start method that can impress the legends, preferably something that can be learned quickly, like a life-saving manual like Love from Beginners to Marriage that even monkeys can learn. The sea of bitterness knows no bounds, but there is a shore when you turn back. If I don't go to hell, who will? Amitabha. Ah. Why at a time like this, would I think of Buddhist teachings? Is he really destined to be connected to Buddhism? But at a time like this, even if you put down the butcher's knife and want to become a Buddha right away, it's too late. Buddhism. At that moment, Yunshi suddenly remembered that he had practiced a secret Buddhist technique. Its name is the Parinirmita Vasavartan Scroll. In an instant, Yunshi had a sudden realization and thought of a way to save himself. Oh yes, he could also use the heavenly demon. Originally, the purpose of practicing this Buddhist secret technique was to increase his resistance to desires. However, things went awry during the final stages of the practice, summoning the unwanted heavenly demon, and eventually even involving a terrifying demon king from the depths of the abyss. The Parinirmita Vasavartan Scroll, a Buddhist scripture, emphasizes facing the heavenly demon, overcoming it with one's own Buddha nature, thereby achieving enlightenment, and transcending worldly troubles. Yunshi wasn't sure if he had achieved enlightenment, but he had indeed mastered the Parinirmita Vasavartan Scroll. In a rush to find a cure for the illness, there was no time to think about it. Luckily, the Parinirmita Vasavartan Scroll doesn't rely on the power of the stars. It focuses more on spiritual and soul-related abilities, so it wasn't affected by the curse of Asha. This is the only skill Yunshi has mastered that can be useful now. Hoping to get through this, Yunshi took a deep breath. A strong instinct told Yunshi that the next test was crucial for him. He didn't expect high marks, just not to be at the bottom. Although the Parinirmita Vasavartan Scroll isn't meant for battle, at this point, they had to make the best of a bad situation. So, let the second round begin. The first lady chosen is, a beam of light fell on Ouroboros, whose face turned red. Ha, excuse me. Ouroboros chuckled, wagging its tail as it took the stage for the second time. Activate the Parinirmita Vasavartan Scroll. This was Yunshi's first time using the secret Buddhist technique of the Parinirmita Vasavartan Scroll, targeting Ouroboros and releasing it. Ah, finally out. A charming voice echoed in Yunshi's mind. Is it the Enchantress? Yunshi immediately guessed the owner of this voice. In the heavenly demon of endless god's domain, the Enchantress is the most famous. The heavenly demon mentioned in the Buddhist records mostly refers to beings like the Enchantress. They are naturally enchanting women who captivate people's hearts, causing trouble with their stunning beauty. No problem, leave everything to me. The difficulty level of targeting this opponent is 0. A voice appeared in Yunshi's mind, looking at the opponent for this time, and lightly smiled. Instead of being as difficult as tempting a mighty king, ruler, or wise person, it's not too simple for the enchantress to resist the temptation of just a useless snake. Oh, it's still here. Good wine. Good wine. Good wine. Ouroboros sniffed and looked at the familiar scenery around. When she confessed to Yunshi, this was the scenery that appeared. Hydra's wine cellar, the best place in the world. There was endless wine to drink, and it was also the safest hiding place in the world. She could stay here for 100 years without leaving. Ding dong. A strange sound echoed softly in the wine cellar, followed by a scent that Ouroboros couldn't resist as it spread out. What is this smell? Ouroboros widened her eyes, looking at the figure slowly approaching her. Still expressionless, but the eyes were full of gentleness and allure. Don't think that the enchantress is the kind of person who takes off her clothes to seduce others with her body. That is just the lowest trick. The true enchantress, with every smile, every step, every sway of her body, naturally radiated a captivating charm that made hearts flutter. The faceless god at this moment was the perfect example, with nothing extraordinary about its appearance, yet it moved in a way that left even Ouroboros perplexed. What a delightful smell, gulp. Ouroboros swallowed, the thin nightshirt almost soaked with sweat. Strange, it wasn't this enticing just a moment ago. What was causing this scent? Mixed with the fragrance of a beautiful girl was a scent of wine like no other. Just one of those scents would be enough to drive Ouroboros crazy, the combination of both would be disastrous. Care for a drink? Yunshi offered a smile that was impossible to refuse, holding a glass of wine mixed with a drop of Hydra poison in front of Ouroboros. Awake now. Fully awake. The aroma of Hydra's wine surpassed even the red wine made by nightmare gourmet chefs. It's not that the red wine is bad, it's just that compared to the divine Era's wine, it's not at the same level at all. This is the kind of wine that can drive all the alcoholics in the endless god's domain crazy, even the demons would dance after drinking this poisonous wine. Ouroboros felt like he had fallen. Alright, decision made. Eat up, whether it's wine or beautiful girls. Only children make choices, adults take everything. Chapter 13:27, The Enchantress. Don't get me wrong, although in Cassina the battle god's eyes it's a worthless snake, and this generation's Red Heart Queen's masquerade score is definitely going to be at the bottom, but Ouroboros is truly not a fantasy creature that lacks presence. In the mysterious endless god's domain, there was a renowned fortune teller. Some of her predictions have yet to come true, but some have been accurate. For those at the legend ranked, this is enough. Despite Ouroboros' seemingly weak fighting abilities, many legendary figures seek her fortune-telling services and try to attract her attention. Although she accepts payment for her predictions, Ouroboros often neglects her duties by not providing accurate results. With a score of 39, she had already surpassed most of the goddesses competing in the Red Heart Queen's masquerade. After all, having a great figure gave extra points. Ouroboros had sensed the scent of the poisonous wine sent by Yunshi from Hydra long before it arrived. Ah, how wonderful! This world is so beautiful. As Ouroboros indulged in the wine cellar of Hydra, she watched the beautiful girls and wine, feeling tempted. Actually, quite a few people have chased after Ouroboros, the mysterious fortune teller who ranks first in the endless god's domain, willing to keep her. Although not as exaggerated as Flora, Ouroboros has a great figure and is lazy and silly, making it easy to take care of her. However, Ouroboros is not interested in the opposite sex and has surprisingly high standards. She likes innocent and lovely beautiful girls, but they have to suit her taste. Ouroboros dreams of a decadent life where she drinks alcohol and gets close to cute and tender girls with fragrant skin. Unfortunately, girls that can satisfy her are as rare as wines that can satisfy her. Last time, she finally found one, but it turned out to be a disciple of Cassina the battle god with a big you-know-what under her skirt, and she ended up losing everything, a real loss. This time, she must make a profit and recover everything. Ouroboros, licking her scented tongue, rubbing her long legs under the thin nightdress, got excited by the double stimulation. Now, she had completely forgotten where she was and was ready to eat everything clean. Have a drink. Yunshi's voice was soft, gentle, and delightful, not at all like a world-class enchantress. A true enchantress could captivate souls without a perfect face or body, even with the faceless god's forever expressionless steel body. Your voice is so pleasant. Ouroboros happily stuck out its tongue and took a small sip of Hydra's poisonous wine. Wow! This is so amazing. The perfect texture and the stimulating explosion on the tip of the tongue, like a rich aroma that could poison millions, this was the best wine she had ever tasted in her life. Moreover, there was a taste in the wine that she especially liked. It must be the taste of a beautiful girl. Fine wine, beautiful girl. Ouroboros had both of its favorite things in the world. The fusion of two kinds of happiness turned into even greater happiness. This world is amazing. She could face this challenge 1,000 times. I will feed you. Enchantress controlled the faceless god, lightly dipped her fingertips in some wine, and then brought it to Ouroboros' lips. Ah! Ouroboros bit down on the finger, the mix of two flavors making her feel intoxicated. Feeling dizzy. How could there be such a wonderful thing in this world? The transparent wine spread between Ouroboros' lips and tongue, while Enchantress' fingertips started gently moving Ouroboros' teeth. In angles unseen by others, Enchantress skillfully used the heavenly demon's well-practiced fingertip techniques. Regardless of race or gender, those were techniques that could conquer anyone, but they seemed wasted on Ouroboros, who lacked experience. In the lessons of love, Yunshi was qualified to be the teacher of Flora, the Golden Crow Princess, and Cyber Elf Alpha. Enchantress' skill and finger techniques could keep Yunshi learning for a lifetime. Ouroboros never imagined that the entanglement of just fingers and tongues could make her dizzy and trembling from tongue to toes. The rich wine, combined with the seemingly magical fingers, made Ouroboros' body relax in less than a minute. The crimson cheeks, the blush under the thin nightgown, and the curled and extended snow-white toes made Ouroboros exude a charming feminine appeal. This is also one of Enchantress's talents, being able to captivate souls regardless of the opponent's gender. When Enchantress withdrew her fingers, a transparent silver thread with a sweet fragrance emerged between her snow-white fingertips and Ouroboros' lips, creating an indescribable allure. Her fingertips brushed Ouroboros' cheek as Enchantress raised the wine glass, taking a sip herself before offering the rest to Ouroboros in the palm of his hand. Is this enough as a proposal gift? That was the whisper of the heavenly demon, far more seductive than the strange mumblings of the ancient gods. It hit Ouroboros right in the heart, causing multiple critical hits. Enough. Ouroboros lowered his head and stuck out his tongue to lick the wine glass in Enchantress's hand, one lick after another. A happy glow was on her blushing cheeks. She didn't care, she just loved this wine, and this cute little hand. Her proposal was just too irresistible to refuse. Forget about this being a dance performance, even in real life, being confessed to by such a lovely girl, she couldn't say no. Smack! Under the stage, Flora crushed the wine glass in her hand, and the wine splattered her hands like blood. This shameless snake, don't you know how to say no? Where do you get the audacity to accept a senior's proposal? Even if it's just a performance, you shouldn't agree, you clearly wanted to take advantage of your senior earlier. I will hold you accountable, shameless waste of a snake. In the void, a strange silence, the 12 nightmare sovereigns peered at each other, emitting different strange fluctuations. Where did they find this prince? I think Ada chose him, but I don't remember. Strange, this kind of charm shouldn't go unnoticed. Her performance is really excellent. Chapter 1328, Saint Demon's Charm. So, I wish you a bright future. My princess. Enchantress elegantly lifted the almost empty cup, took the last drop of Hydra's fine wine, declaring her complete victory. Even the legendary Ouroboros could not resist the temptation of the heavenly demon Enchantress. The heavenly demon creature was born to bring trouble. Whether Enchantress, Saint Demon, or Azura, wherever the heavenly demon appeared, it would surely bring significant waves of fate. A chaotic world, a stage intertwined with countless destinies. People who believe in the gods. Young boys and girls with the status of the chosen ones. A bloody battlefield. The bigger the fate poem, the more it can summon the arrival of the heavenly demon. Whether it's the tempting Enchantress, the divine Saint Demon, or the warlike Azura, none of them are immune to it. All of this fully satisfies Red Heart Queen's masquerade. Yunshi unintentionally found himself involved in the terrifying Azura scene, which made the Enchantress extremely satisfied. This kind of stage, where one walks on a tightrope and risks their life to perform, is perfect for the heavenly demon. Just being on this stage makes the Enchantress so excited that she wants to hug Yunshi and give him a kiss. Phew, bring me another drink. Ouroboros fell, with his whole head and chest buried in the Enchantress's lap, enjoying the beauty's lap pillow service. In such days, she could live for 1,000 years. In the emptiness, the 12 nightmare sovereigns unanimously approved the Enchantress's strategy after seeing Ouroboros completely let down its guard. This prince is really special. Ada has a good eye. Where did she find him? For the next competition, we can invite her to participate. She has unlimited potential just like Flora. I always feel like she might unexpectedly fit well in our nightmare world. As the curtain fell, the drunk Ouroboros lay on the table next to Cassina the battle god, looking completely fascinated. The taste of this wine. Cassina the battle god curiously leaned over to Ouroboros's mouth, smelling it, and couldn't resist licking his own lips. Did I feel like I missed something? Was it just an illusion? Flora raised her eyebrows, the sword marks on her cheek almost showing a murderous intent like blood, her target locked on the limp and useless snake. The prince's score needed to be assessed by all 7 princesses, unlike the princess's scoring standard just now, so the second princess was quickly selected. This opponent is not simple at all. Cyber Elf Alpha, she doesn't seem like the type to be easily moved. The new electronic god, almost aloof from worldly affairs, is an object that cannot be conquered. Although Yunshi's potential was highly regarded, when the second princess took the stage, all nightmare sovereigns felt that this time the prince would face a setback. In terms of character difficulty, conquering Cyber Elf Alpha is probably only second to Lilibet the Azure Excalibur, who doesn't care at all about the Red Heart Queen's masquerade this time. Even in the critical eyes of the nightmare sovereigns, Cyber Elf Alpha's future is destined to shock the entire Endless Gods domain. The Cyber Elf, born from the mechanical gods domain that fundamentally lacks a belief system, is the source that turned God Crystal into a rare treasure. All past experiments of the fairy clan involving God Crystal had failed, but this time they succeeded, reaping enough rewards to offset all previous failures. It's Alpha. Yunshi knew how to win over Alpha, but he knew he couldn't use that method. Amidst the swirling nebula, Yunshi quickly listed 3 strategies using the Paranormative Vasavartan scroll. The first strategy, revealing himself as the Starry Sky chess master, Alpha would surely ask to play chess. Catching her off guard while playing, it would be easy for him to propose. The second strategy, not revealing his identity as the Starry Sky chess master, just playing chess with Alpha and winning her over to gain her favor. The third strategy, still playing chess, but... So, this was the plan. For Cyber Elf Alpha, there was no better way to fall in love than through playing chess. Saint Demon, the heavenly demon, was perfect for this strategy. Understood, leave it to me. Compared to the passionate enchantress, Saint Demon, with her natural aura of a saint, had a slightly colder demeanor, exuding purity and holiness. Throughout history, saint demons were revered as holy figures in various churches and factions, known as priestesses and divine messengers. Despite being heavenly demons, few ever realized their true nature. Similarly, throughout history, saint demons' endings are also similar, all ending in martyrdom for their country, absorbing the immense sadness, despair, and mourning caused by their deaths to grow. Enchantresses, seducing those who hold the power of fate, stir up trouble to interfere in destiny and gain power. Saint demons, gathering people to fight for their beliefs with their own virtues and actions, then becoming the focal point of destiny through their own deaths, reaping longing. Asuras don't bother with such complexity, they directly engage in battle until darkness falls, either you die or I live, gaining power on the battlefield. The heavenly demons known by people are mostly the first type, enchantresses, while the second type, saint demons, and the third type, asuras, are rare species. Their appearances always lead to greater chaos and wars than enchantresses. Or perhaps, they are species inherently summoned by the waves of destiny, like how dark clouds will inevitably bring thunder, and earthquakes will make lava boil. Let's play chess. When facing Cyber Elf Alpha, this is the declaration that excites and delights the newly born electronic gods the most. Do you know how to play Starry Sky chess? Cyber Elf Alpha looked excitedly at Saint Demon across from him, never expecting to encounter such a good opportunity while attending the Red Heart Queen's party. She had a feeling that the Saint Demon in front of her was very powerful, making her feel eager to engage in a mental battle. Okay. Most of the time, Saint Demon, a girl who wasn't good with words, could directly influence the flow of destiny with her mere presence. This pure, crystal-like girl was loved by all the gods, an unparalleled talent in practicing divine arts, a beauty that countless heroes fell for. Isn't there a saying that goes, the best things are the ones you can't have? Discovered by the church for her divine arts aptitude, it was only a matter of time before she surpassed her peers to become the Holy Maiden, dazzling all the geniuses of her era. And then, she decisively sacrificed herself to achieve a miracle. Unlike the Enchantress, she left countless heroes lifelong scars using a different technique. Chapter 1329. The Three-Eyed Holy Maiden Demonic Saintess's special ability is clairvoyance. It's characterized by a third eye on the forehead, allowing the user to possess an intuitive vision. Being without the known traits of a heavenly demon, even the gods considered them a rare and sacred species, often choosing them as their spokespersons. With her third eye, she can manifest her mental powers and travel through the vast world. They are incarnations of heavenly demons who only appear in times of great calamity, often choosing death to bring about greater changes in the flow of destiny. Saint Demon is skilled at playing Starry Sky chess and has played many intense matches, even reaching a draw with Norn, the god of wisdom, in the Endless Gods domain. Among the renowned Starry Sky chess players recorded in the Seven Towers, Saint Demon holds 5 seats, yet she didn't arrive in this era to witness Cyber Elf Alpha's rise. Cyber Elf Alpha enjoys playing chess, and Saint Demon, with her clairvoyant powers, also takes pleasure in the game. Through a pact with Yun Shi, Saint Demon discovers a surprising truth. Before him, the boy who had completed the scroll of the Paranormata Vasavardhan, is now the strongest in the Endless Gods domain, a star chess player without equal. A Starry Sky chess master, this is a glory that not even the gifted Saint Demons possess, the ultimate proof of intelligence in the Endless Gods domain. The Saint Demon contracted with Yun Shi expressed that if other members of her clan knew about this, they would definitely come looking for Yun Shi. Perhaps the most important reason she was summoned by the Paranormative Vasavartan scroll. Even Yun Shi himself may not know what the title of Starry Sky Chess Master truly signifies. Just like the Battle God, it symbolizes the pinnacle position in the Endless God's domain, representing countless legends. Even a mere mortal with this title will receive endless glory and benefits, advancing to the legend rank is a sure thing. More importantly, it signifies a shift in the fate river of the Endless God's domain, automatically attracting the attention of fate itself. For the heavenly demons who feed on the emotions of wise beings, this is an irresistible temptation. Moreover, being crowned the peak of wisdom, this is what excites Saint Demon the most. Saint Demon, who possesses divine intelligence, has a special penchant for fate's chosen ones, often focusing her attention on them the most. Yun Shi is now being watched by Saint Demon and feels truly contented. This person is qualified to make a pact with Saint Demon, to know Saint Demon's true identity, to know Saint Demon's power. As a rare type of heavenly demon, Saint Demon has the ability to see the course of fate and to grasp the power of destiny. Guess first. Sitting in front of Cyber Elf Alpha, the Starry Sky chessboard appeared between them. Not using Yun Shi's Starry Sky Chess Master authority, but Saint Demon's own past star chess player authority. Due to the new rules, Saint Demon's ranking was divided into 3 tiers, with a huge gap compared to Cyber Elf Alpha's tier. Three-Eyed Holy Maiden, Cyber Elf Alpha paid special attention to the opponent's code name, a name that she has not played against but has been recorded in the history of the Starry Sky chessboard. In ancient times, during a period after the twilight of the gods, someone once held the title of the best player in the Starry Sky chessboard, but was later surpassed by Norn the god of wisdom. Intuition is correct, she is a worthy opponent to take seriously. So, how much of her brain power can she bring to the table? Should she give 1% of her full power, or go for even higher authority? In order to enhance her chess skills, Cyber Elf Alpha has recently started learning to restrain her brain power when playing against opponents, keeping it limited to about 10 times the normal calculation level of the legend ranked. 100 times more brain power advantage leads to entirely different strategies compared to having a 10 times advantage. Having a 10 times calculation power advantage doesn't guarantee Cyber Elf Alpha absolute victory when playing against the God of Wisdom and the Jewel Princess. She might even face disadvantages in the opening stages. However, this is the situation Cyber Elf Alpha desires, as she rarely encounters the elusive A cloud in the sky. Suppressing her brain power and playing against opponents with 4 or 5 levels below her is her daily joy. Facing the 3-level, Three-Eyed Holy Maiden in front of her gives her a similar feeling as when playing against the God of Wisdom and the Jewel Princess, which might give her a taste of danger. The result of the guess game was that Saint Demon went first. Plop. The crisp sound of a piece being placed, Saint Demon put her piece in the corner, which was a normal move for a star chess player. On the other hand, Cyber Elf Alpha chose the Tianyuan opening, which she recently liked to use as her starting move. It's not about imitating anyone, but under the dominance of her calculating power, she set rules for herself. She wanted to know why the Starry Sky Chess Master was so persistent in using the Tianyuan move. Master, can you support me? Saint Demon asked Yun Shi, who was watching the game. Normally, this would be against the rules, but Saint Demon and Yun Shi were now in a state of unity, approaching the concept of a heavenly demon, which didn't have a physical body. The so-called heavenly demon, a terrifying creature that feeds on the emotions and thoughts of intelligent beings, is something even monks fear in the Buddhist world. According to the rules of the Starry Sky chessboard, there was no distinction between the heavenly demon and Yun Shi as separate entities. When acting on Saint Demon's will, she could simply use her past privileges. Alright, how to move next? For Yun Shi, Starry Sky Chess is probably the best game he plays in the world. Till now, he didn't realize how honorable the title of Starry Sky Chess Master really is. Even the lofty Saint Demon herself was amazed by this achievement. To lose gracefully. To make her feel pain. Saint Demon's strategy is simple yet effective. Whether being crushed by Cyber Elf Alpha or crushing Cyber Elf Alpha, it doesn't achieve the best result. Lure the opponent in, give them hope and then despair, slowly guiding their emotions until they burst out fiercely in the end. Sounds familiar, right? When Saint Demon walked among mortals, that's how she treated the chosen ones. Without having to give anything, not even allowing a touch, yet causing lifelong pain to the other, that's what makes Saint Demon terrifying. They never need to attack like Enchantress, just a glance, a word of encouragement, can make people willingly die for them. Chapter 1330. The power of wisdom. Enchantress's influence needs to be alive to continue fermenting, so she will do whatever it takes to protect herself, even if it means sacrificing her beauty to stay alive. Saint Demon, on the other hand, values what kind of death. A great death can be remembered for centuries and recorded in history. In a way, every woman possessed by Saint Demon is a martyr of destiny, falling during the most beautiful and glorious era of their lives. The intense impact has shattered the hearts of countless heroes who secretly admired Saint Demon. Compared to Enchantress, who casts a wide net to catch many fish, Saint Demon never needs that trouble because as saintly messengers, they are naturally the center of attention for everyone. Guide people. Show care for people. Become a crucial and important part in some people's hearts. This way, when Saint Demon passed away, she could never be forgotten. In this manner, Saint Demon even made the gods sad, since it seemed that whenever she died, her spirit scattered, burning everything, impossible to save. Although she was a heavenly demon, nobody ever mixed up the three-eyed Saint Demon with enchantresses, and nobody would even consider finding any connection between the two. After all, the differences were too great. The pure and delicate Saint Demon, who was untouchable, couldn't even hold hands, was nothing like the fiery and daring, charming Enchantress. They seemed like completely different species. However, one common point between the two was entirely the same: human hearts. Whether Enchantress or Saint Demon, they were both heavenly demons who fed on the emotions and memories of sentient beings. Enchantress's techniques are straightforward and easy to understand, suitable for newbies who are young and full of energy. Saint Demon, on the other hand, started off at a very high point, waiting for the inevitable encounter of fate. Enchantress values quantity, often developing ambiguous relationships with multiple individuals at the same time. Saint Demon values quality, choosing only a select few chosen ones, maintaining a distance from everyone and never taking the lead. As for Azura, well, let's not talk about that. When it comes to manipulating hearts, Saint Demon's abilities are stronger than Enchantress's, as they aim to guide and interfere with targets beyond those of hero status. Enchantress's seductive powers are ineffective against beings of this level, and they are easily caught and exposed. According to Buddhist records, the heavenly demons subdued and suppressed are typically enchantresses. Saint Demon doesn't need to rely on seductive techniques, their methods are on a higher level, surpassing supernatural powers. Just like at this moment, Saint Demon noticed the deadly weakness of Cyber Elf Alpha. Perhaps, this is not just a weakness of Cyber Elf Alpha, but also of Saint Demon. The mystery of Starry Sky Chess is truly captivating. After the Starry Sky chessboard opens, many players who are addicted to playing chess non-stop at the Legend Ranked, which is the best proof. On the small chessboard lies an endless path of rules and possibilities. No one can predict what will happen in the next moment on the Starry Sky chessboard. Each game is a passage of time, a record of the changes in the starry sky. This infinite unpredictability, changes that even the Legend Ranked cannot fathom, is the greatest charm of Starry Sky chess and the reason why the Starry Sky chessboard has become the highest stage of wisdom in the Endless Gods domain. Even Saint Demon, who possesses divine intelligence, has suffered multiple defeats on the Starry Sky chessboard. Every time the Starry Sky chessboard is opened in the past, Saint Demon would definitely participate. Three-Eyed Holy Maiden, Galro Divine Envoy, the Priestess Approaching the Gods, are all code names used by Saint Demon. Starry Sky Chess has impressive records in Endless God's domain, only surpassed by Norn the God of Wisdom, one of the three sisters who descendants of the Twilight of the Gods, and has won the top 3 positions on the Starry Sky chessboard more than once. After a long time, sitting in front of the Starry Sky chessboard again, Saint Demon blushed slightly as she made her usual opening move. The Heavenly Demon is a special being that appears in response to the ripples of the River of Destiny, and each time it appears in the mortal world, it must have a special vessel. A tragic fate often attracts the enchantress. Gifted with intelligence but born in an unfortunate time, Saint Demon favors those whose fate is ill-fated. Someone fierce and ruthless is known as an Azura. Every girl possessed by Saint Demon in each generation is actually a pitiful person whose fate is near its end. Before being possessed by Saint Demon, their life force was already fading like a candle in the wind. Saint Demon's arrival and the opening of the Heavenly Eye only slightly extended their time of death, giving them a chance to replace their fate with Saint Demon's will. Throughout history, the incarnations of Saint Demon as holy women, priests, priestesses, and messengers of the gods have been brilliant but destined for an early death. The Saint Demon who replaces them will unleash their potential and talent to the fullest, joining the great catastrophe. Compared to the charm required by the enchantress and the strength required by Azura, Saint Demon requires wisdom, so even if you are weak, it doesn't matter. Saint Demon, whose main attribute is wisdom, all love playing Starry Sky chess, and will never miss a chance to participate in the Starry Sky chessboard. For the Saint Demon tribe, this era of openness in the Starry Sky chessboard is truly the best era. For this Saint Demon contracted with Yun Shi, knowing that Yun Shi is the master of Starry Sky chess, there is no longer any dissatisfaction with this contract, just pure satisfaction. After the 3 pieces fell and Saint Demon started with her familiar fixed formula, she humbly asked Yun Shi, "How are things going now?" Not great. Alpha has already seen through your intentions." Yun Shi casually looked at the layout of both sides. Cyber Elf Alpha's moves were clever, while Saint Demon's strategy seemed outdated. Oh, this is considered not great. Saint Demon had not played chess with Cyber Elf Alpha yet, so she had not experienced the despair and frustration that other legend-ranked players faced when playing against Cyber Elf Alpha. Yes, she should start launching a strong attack soon. As the only star chess player in the Endless Gods domain who could ignore Cyber Elf Alpha's strategic advantage, Yun Shi knew Cyber Elf Alpha's playing style better than anyone. Willing to do whatever it takes to win, when faced with opponents who seemed weaker, Cyber Elf Alpha would definitely play ruthlessly. It was in her nature. Please let me play 10 moves. If it had been anyone else, even the highly admired, impermanent, in the Heavenly Demon, Saint Demon wouldn't have been so obedient. It can only be said that the title of Starry Sky Chess Master and what it represents had a huge impact on Saint Demon. Just like a novice swordsman admiring a legendary sword master. Yun Shi didn't even realize it himself, but when he summoned Saint Demon, she looked at him with sincere and touching eyes. Saint Demon, who always acted like a superior saint, only listened so obediently when she was in front of him. Chapter 1331, Yun Shi takes action. Saint Demon always takes her time with her moves, carefully planning before making a move, which has been her style throughout history. In past major crises, the Saint Demons who held the positions of Saint, Priestess, and Divine Messenger rarely took the forefront, as that was the task of knights and heroes. Each time Saint Demon dies, it is usually meticulously planned, aiming to evoke epic and tragic feelings to the extreme, even deceiving deities in the process. Translated into Starry Sky Chess, Saint Demon's strategy is a meticulous and gradual advancement, gaining an overall advantage with a solid position on the chessboard. She is willing to sacrifice some pieces when necessary to secure victory. However, her opponent is Cyber Elf Alpha. Cyber Elf Alpha is known as the best star chess player who excels at dominating opponents with absolute superiority. In matches against Cyber Elf Alpha, those who are initially at a disadvantage rarely manage to turn the tables later on, except for a few exceptional cases. Cyber Elf Alpha's approach in chess is to exploit any weaknesses shown by her opponent, relentlessly attacking without giving them a chance to retaliate. "I will never go easy on you. If I can kill you, I will definitely do it. There is no such thing as a draw or giving guidance. If I don't crush your confidence, then I am not Cyber Elf Alpha." Of course, just because Cyber Elf Alpha focuses on winning doesn't mean she doesn't know other strategies. She always aims to win, no matter what tactics she uses. Attacking aggressively can quickly end a battle, which is Cyber Elf Alpha's best solution. Since stepping onto the stage of the Starry Sky chessboard, Cyber Elf Alpha has only played defensively once. It was a tactic used against the only Starry Sky chess master she couldn't defeat easily, a formidable defense. And the result was. With the sixth move, Saint Demon felt immense pressure. In a normal opening of the Starry Sky chess game, the first 50 moves are considered the opening phase. During this time, most players are probing each other to understand the star map of this particular game. Cyber Elf Alpha skips this process and goes all out from the beginning, just like the heavenly demon Azura in Killing, no mercy, no reason needed. Her attacks start from the very first move. Even if she starts with a move like Tianyuan, she exudes a domineering pressure. Without a doubt, after winning numerous games in Endless God's Domain, Cyber Elf Alpha has become one of the top attacking players recognized by everyone. Her moves even attracted a wave of new players following her lead, including some ancient legend-ranked players who are even stronger than Cyber Elf Alpha in reality. Of course, when Cyber Elf Alpha uses her aggressive playing style, she seems unbeatable and unstoppable. These beginners who struggle are like inexperienced players challenging each other and often end up losing to themselves during the game. Saint Demon, with her divine intelligence, faced a challenging situation in the opening phase for the first time. Cyber Elf Alpha, known as the strongest attacking player in the history of the Starry Sky chessboard, lives up to her reputation. The star chess players who have been defeated by her could form a complete battalion, many of whom are highly skilled players on the Starry Sky chessboard. Describing Cyber Elf Alpha's style on the Starry Sky chessboard as unbeatable is not an exaggeration. The gap between her and other star chess players is in a completely different league. This made Saint Demon feel even more amazed by Yun Shi, who was even stronger than Cyber Elf Alpha in the Endless God's Domain Starry Sky chess game, exceeding multiple levels of skill. With the seventh move, Saint Demon responded to Cyber Elf Alpha's attack with a typical defensive strategy, leaving the outcome for the later part of the game. Without hesitation, Cyber Elf Alpha continued making moves, showing determination to outplay Saint Demon completely without leaving any room for escape. Watching the chessboard, Saint Demon had to admit that Cyber Elf Alpha was the most formidable opponent she had ever encountered on the Starry Sky chessboard. With only 7 moves into the game, Saint Demon was already under immense pressure. Her defensive strategy was no match for Cyber Elf Alpha's aggressive tactics, feeling completely outmatched. Despite this, Saint Demon didn't give up. After considering for a long time 3 times, she made her best moves with all her might. 10 moves. Cyber Elf Alpha is truly terrifying. After the opening moves, Saint Demon let out a long sigh, feeling the tension and even fear that other legendary star chess players face when playing against Cyber Elf Alpha. The tenfold advantage in calculation abilities was too evident on the Starry Sky chessboard, overpowering even Saint Demon, who possessed divine intelligence, leaving her powerless. Cyber Elf Alpha truly deserved the title of the Starry Sky chess master in this era, perhaps should have been the invincible #1 in the world. As long as she doesn't meet Yunxi. Master. Please support me. Is there still a chance? Saint Demon wiped the sweat off her forehead, feeling exhausted from playing chess, which was a huge drain for a life form with the characteristic of wisdom. Yes, no problem, leave it to me. Only in the world of the Starry Sky chessboard would Yunxi be so confident. In Saint Demon's eyes, the outcome of this game had already gone from bad to worse. Describing it as a battlefield, it was like the enemy's dragon riders were right in your face. How could you possibly win? Looking at the intricate star map, Yunxi understood the charm of the Starry Sky chess. No one could predict how the star map would change, or what kind of moves could be made. Unlike chess played by ordinary mortals, in the Starry Sky chess with the star map as the game board, an initial advantage could turn into a disadvantage after a while, and a previously disadvantaged position could potentially be reversed with the right moves. Cyber Elf Alpha's absolute advantage, which Saint Demon couldn't crack, didn't mean that others couldn't do it too. More precisely, there was only one person in the entire Endless Gods domain who could do such absurd things. Bang! Yunxi's figure stood behind Saint Demon, quietly wielding a fan made of mist, gently tapping a corner of the star map. Saint Demon's little hand fell, following Yunxi's instructions to place a chess piece. This wasn't a path leaning towards attack or defense, but rather a step taken in a place completely unexpected by Cyber Elf Alpha, a move of exploration. Cyber Elf Alpha widened her eyes, looking at Saint Demon with a puzzled expression, as if asking, "Are you really going to place it here?" Saint Demon looked at the swiftly changing star map and nodded. She believed in Yunxi behind her, believing in the legendary figure hailed as the only Starry Sky chess master in the history of the Starry Sky chessboard. Chapter 1332, The Crazy Attack and Defense on the Vast Starry Sky chessboard. Stars twinkled, with most of the initial layout and clashes occurring in the bottom right corner. In the center of the star map, Cyber Elf Alpha's unique Tianyuan piece stood alone, without any surrounding pieces. Similarly, Saint Demon's 11th move landed in a prominent position at the northeast corner of the star map. Cyber Elf Alpha carefully calculated and checked millions of times, but couldn't see any need to fight for that corner. It was completely different from her earlier strategic moves. This sudden move was too abrupt, compared to her solid and grand chess style. Why make a move there? Isn't that the least resource-rich and least contested territory on this star map? After thinking for about 3 seconds, Cyber Elf Alpha made her next move. Attack! Launching a fierce attack towards the area where the opponent had completed their layout, devouring all the significant pieces first, will completely determine the outcome. No matter what extraordinary moves, the essence of Starry Sky chess is still about grasping the momentum. Seizing the central area first is an eternal rule. You can have that empty corner all to yourself. I'll crush your main stronghold. Even though you have some tricks up your sleeve, you won't stand a chance against me. Unable to win. Saint Demon watched as Cyber Elf Alpha launched a fierce and crazy attack, realizing that her own chess skills were no match for Cyber Elf Alpha's deadly moves. The slight advantage she had painstakingly built earlier was now like paper against Cyber Elf Alpha's sharp attacks. No, there was never really an advantage, just as Starry Sky chess master had told her. After 3 moves she was already at a disadvantage. Cyber Elf Alpha excelled at reading the game, sensing the chess patterns, and most importantly, calculating several levels beyond the normal legend ranked on the Starry Sky chessboard. Playing chess against Cyber Elf Alpha was truly stressful. The higher the chess skills, the more one could feel the suffocating taste of imminent defeat, like a butcher's knife hanging over your neck at all times. Saint Demon, one of the former winners on the Starry Sky chessboard, could hardly breathe. If it weren't for Yunxi's fan calmly pointing on the star map, she might have panicked long ago. Alpha, who always enjoyed slaughter, didn't seem to be putting her full effort. Yunshi felt relaxed facing Cyber Elf Alpha, who was only using 10 times the legend-ranked calculation power. Ever since learning how to play Starry Sky chess, I haven't felt nervous. With Yunshi's support, Saint Demon always responds to Cyber Elf Alpha's attacks, even though she looks nervous. The next 20 moves revolved around the bottom right corner of the star map. Yunshi responded to 18 of them, while the other 2 continued to set up in the least fertile area of the star map. Compared to Yunshi's casual play, Cyber Elf Alpha's impression of Saint Demon changed dramatically during these 20 moves. A miscalculation. This is no ordinary defensive strategy. There was a huge mistake in assessing the opponent's information. Requesting more support from the planet's quantum computing team. While his antennas on his head kept shaking, sending signals to his planet's quantum computing team, Cyber Elf Alpha's eyes were shining brighter. Very strong. Such incredible strength. It should be said, apart from her, this is definitely the 3rd best player in the Starry Sky chessboard. Her style is endless defense. Not the cautious tactics like her ironclad strategy, but a defense as flexible as water, deceptively calm but extremely resilient when attacked. When it comes to defense, she is definitely the top player in Endless God's domain. After 20 moves of attack and defense, Cyber Elf Alpha realized that she only had a slight advantage compared to the moves before. The problem is, in these 20 moves, the opponent's 3 pieces didn't fall in the bottom right corner, but went to the northeast corner. In other words, although the opponent only made 17 moves, they managed to draw against Cyber Elf Alpha's full-on attack. Cyber Elf Alpha had never encountered this level of defense before, even claiming the top spot in Endless God's domain should be no problem. Excluding monsters of a certain level, this game can be said to be Cyber Elf Alpha's best opening move in the Endless God's domain defense chess game. Three-Eyed Holy Maiden, Cyber Elf Alpha firmly recorded this code name in the database. Invincibility is lonely. Always crushing opponents limits the growth of one's own chess skills. Cyber Elf Alpha has longed for an opponent who can match their strength for too long. Why doesn't that Starry Sky chess master ever show up? In a state of seeking defeat, Cyber Elf Alpha can only play chess repeatedly with star chess players of lower levels multiple times. Their winning streak has exceeded 4 digits. Increase computing power. Cyber Elf Alpha's antenna happily swayed, revealing a satisfied smile on their face. This game is great. Are you taking it a bit more seriously? Yunshi smiled slightly as he watched Cyber Elf Alpha's antenna swaying on their head. This is not enough yet. Saint Demon demands that Alpha feel pain. Alright, the setup is almost done, let's begin. 50 times the legend ranked in computing power. An abundance of data streamed through Cyber Elf Alpha's eyes as the outline of a quantum crystal emerged behind them. The conqueror of the Starry Sky chessboard officially entered battle mode. Attack! Cyber Elf Alpha focused all her computing power on her offensive strategy, launching a more intense and aggressive attack than the previous 30 moves. Defend! Saint Demon, unable to understand the current chess pattern, blindly followed Yunshi's instructions, placing her pieces in a chaotic formation and doing her best to defend against Cyber Elf Alpha's relentless attacks. Whack! Snap! Snap! The continuous moves made the game intense. Even those unfamiliar with the rules of Starry Sky chess could feel the tension. Without hesitation, both sides were confident in their abilities. Cyber Elf Alpha trusted in her superior strategic skills, allowing her to dominate the Starry Sky chessboard effortlessly. Saint Demon believed in the Starry Sky chessboard's ultimate legend, the Starry Sky chess master. The intense battle continued until Cyber Elf Alpha's 50th move, bringing it to a sudden halt. Chapter 1333, A Corner of Collapse, That's Not Right. Since the game started, Cyber Elf Alpha didn't make a move instantly for the first time. The frenzied pace of the crazy attacks also came to a halt for the first time. This intuition belonged to the most advanced players of the Starry Sky chessboard, and she finally realized something was amiss. The continuous fierce attacks gave her more advantages than the opening. With calculation powers exceeding the legend ranked by more than 50 times, it was enough to deal with the combined forces of the three sisters of Norn, the god of wisdom, and the gem dragon princess Orfina. But when it reached 50 moves, Cyber Elf Alpha stopped her attacks, as if a sudden stop button had been pressed on the raging storm. What was wrong? Cyber Elf Alpha, who had always crushed her opponents on the Starry Sky chessboard, reevaluated the game. The fierce battle in the bottom right corner had reached a fever pitch, with pieces from both sides intertwining and displaying their strengths. In the northeast corner, there are 4 chess pieces lined up neatly. In the center of the star map, she placed Tianyuan randomly. Calculating the next development, Cyber Elf Alpha focused on the intricate chess game. 50 times the legend-ranked calculation power is not enough. Upgrade, activate more planetary quantum computer arrays. 70 times rate, 80 times rate, 100 times rate of the legend-ranked calculation power. In the distant mechanical gods domain, more planetary quantum computer arrays started running, providing Cyber Elf Alpha in the Red Heart Queen's masquerade with more calculation power. Such a scene has rarely appeared recently. Even when playing chess with Norn the god of wisdom, Cyber Elf Alpha can easily win with 50 times the calculation power. Needing to use 100 times the legend-ranked calculation power indicates that Cyber Elf Alpha is completely serious. It seems they've noticed, whispered Yun Shi, standing behind Saint Demon with a fan covering his mouth. Cyber Elf Alpha lived up to her reputation, finally realizing the hidden danger in the area. However, it was already too late. She would feel pain, and that was what Saint Demon had been expecting. Why didn't I notice? After increasing her computing power to over 150 times the legend ranked, Cyber Elf Alpha finally figured out what was wrong, her forehead antenna drooping. How careless, so incredibly careless, to not have considered this possibility. No wonder the opponent had started withdrawing since the 10th move. They had already observed this possibility long ago, hadn't they? She had surprisingly failed to grasp the intricacies of this defensive strategy, stepping right into it. Had she become too inflated? Winning so many times had made her overlook the possibility of being careless to this extent. The situation in this area was clearly, there will be no winner. Snap! Like a gecko shedding its tail, Cyber Elf Alpha made a cautious move, trying to create a new escape route for the pieces in this area. Unfortunately, it was already too late. Snap! 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 With 3 consecutive moves, Saint Demon was shocked to see the sudden shift from defense to offense. Now, it was her turn to attack Cyber Elf Alpha and force her to maneuver and counterattack while minimizing losses. What had happened? What kind of future did Cyber Elf Alpha see to make such a hasty decision? Even with Saint Demon's strong chess skills, she couldn't understand why the situation had suddenly changed like this. Cyber Elf Alpha's antenna turned left and right, adding the computational power of the planetary quantum computer group before finally discovering how bad the situation was in this area. Even though she decisively tried to save her strength by using the gecko's tail cutting technique, the earlier attacks had been too fierce to completely recover from. It's time to close the net. Yunshi pointed the fan to a point on the star map, an ending that had been anticipated from 30 steps ago. Saint Demon's game piece landed on that point, and then a series of fire lights appeared in the lower half of the area. Boom! Collapse! As if an invisible giant hand tore apart the void of the star map, destroying the pieces of both sides one by one. All go down together. Each piece's destruction triggered more explosions and collapses, a rare sight in Starry Sky chess, indicating both sides' pieces were being destroyed without discrimination. Whether they were attackers or defenders, in the chain reaction of the Great Whirlpool, there was nowhere to escape, only a dead end. This was the future Yunsheet saw 30 steps ahead. It was also the highly probable destruction event Cyber Elf Alpha calculated 3 steps ago. Since it was all about destruction, there was no advantage for either attackers or defenders, everyone was doomed. The issue was, Cyber Elf Alpha was too focused on the attack and defense in this corner, completely oblivious to the possibility of complete annihilation. Swoosh! 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 The pieces from both sides in this area returned to their respective players' hands. The massive vortex of destruction claimed the bottom right corner of the star map, indicating that no more moves could be made in this area. Then, only 5 pieces were left on the vast star map. Tianyuan, Cyber Elf Alpha. Saint Demon in the northeast corner. With 1 against 4, Cyber Elf Alpha was 3 pieces behind. In the rules of Starry Sky chess, a 3-piece difference represents a significant gap in skill levels. Even with Cyber Elf Alpha's strength, she couldn't confidently say she could defeat her opponent by giving away 3 pieces in the opening. What's more, these 3 pieces were not separate, but were connected together as a group of 4, contrasting with Cyber Elf Alpha's lone piece, Tianyuan. Very good. I was careless. Cyber Elf Alpha, who was reversed by Saint Demon in one go, didn't feel discouraged or disheartened, but her eyes sparkled. It had been a long time, besides the Starry Sky chess master, that she had encountered an opponent who made her suffer such a loss. It looks like a strong and solid defense that doesn't leak any water, but it's actually a layout hiding traps. The sudden escape was expected in the area where the battle was expected to end with both sides suffering. This foresight, along with a sudden burst of inspiration even she didn't anticipate, was exactly what she hoped for, a worthy opponent to challenge her skills. Firm and full of vitality. Waiting until the time is right, then striking with great force. Underestimating her opponent, who started the game with only 10 times the legend-ranked computing power, was a big mistake. She might be the 3rd best star chess player in Endless God's domain, after the Starry Sky chess master and herself, with defensive skills even higher than hers. Go all out. Cyber Elf Alpha was thrilled because, apart from a cloud in the sky, she had finally encountered an opponent she could give her all against. Chapter 1334, Guidance, It's Art. In less than 10 seconds, Cyber Elf Alpha replayed the course of the game countless times. In the distant mechanical god's domain, the massive planet-scale quantum computer arrays began activating their cooling systems, entering full computational mode. Tons of coolant were pumped into the cooling systems of the planet-scale quantum computer arrays, and massive fans spun at top speed. Solar power wings in space, each aligning with ground receivers. The nuclear weapon material, originally meant for destruction in the mechanical god's domain, was ignited for power generation. The entire planet-scale quantum computer arrays of mechanical god's domain responded to Cyber Elf Alpha's will, entering high-speed operation. 1,000 units of the legend-ranked computing power. 2,000 units of the legend-ranked computing power. Just like the game with Star Collapse played by Starry Sky chess master back then, Cyber Elf Alpha once again used her full power and activated the all-out mode. After the humiliating defeat, with the concentration of all resources in mechanical god's domain, the scale of the planet's quantum computer group almost doubled. In other words, in the extreme state, the computing power Cyber Elf Alpha can now use is twice as much as before, but this computing peak requires overclocking for power, with a maximum duration of just 15 minutes. Without a doubt, in her full power mode, Cyber Elf Alpha burns through astronomical resources of the mechanical god's domain every second. 3,000 legend-ranked computing power. 4,000 legend ranked computing power. 5,000 legend ranked computing power. Critical point, arrived. This is the normal limit that CyberElf Alpha can maintain without overclocking, and it is the highest frequency that the planet's quantum computer group can reach within minutes. When CyberElf Alpha battled the Starry Sky Chess Master A Cloud in the Sky, the computing power that used to be achievable only by overclocking to the limit is now CyberElf Alpha's regular state. Keep improving and test the overclocking point. CyberElf Alpha commanded her planetary quantum computer while making another move on the Starry Sky chessboard. This time, facing her opponent the three-eyed Holy Maiden, CyberElf Alpha became completely serious, considering her the second toughest opponent she has encountered after the Starry Sky Chess Master A Cloud in the Sky. The recent Great Whirlpool tactic she encountered, aside from the star collapse by the Starry Sky Chess Master, was another phenomenon that could forcefully alter the star map. Star collapse is a tactic that triggers chain reactions, with each move causing surrounding stars to collapse, a strategy CyberElf Alpha has yet to find a solution for. Great Whirlpool lures the opponent's pieces with its own as bait, pulling them into a trap and mutually destroying each other. In terms of level, Great Whirlpool is lower than Star Collapse, requiring more early setup and preparation, risking a great deal to take down the enemy. Compared to the unpredictable Star Collapse, CyberElf Alpha at least understands the principle of the Great Whirlpool tactic and even feels an urge to try it out. She noticed that not only the specific region but also several other regions of this star map show significant instability. The three-eyed Saintess set up the Great Whirlpool. CyberElf Alpha remembered every detail and could find the corresponding points on the star map in other areas one by one. This means that the magical Great Whirlpool tactic is not exclusive to the three-eyed Saintess. CyberElf Alpha can also try to use it. Alright, now that's the way it is. CyberElf Alpha stared intently at the new battlefield, which was the area previously occupied by the three-eyed Saintess. Here is a trap, hiding a new Great Whirlpool. The four-sided leading allowed the three-eyed Saintess to take the initiative in this area long ago, putting CyberElf Alpha at a disadvantage this time. However, CyberElf Alpha still placed her move without hesitation. Attack again. Defense, holding back, none of that. Even though the situation was unfavorable, even though CyberElf Alpha knew there was a deadly trap there, and it was an unstoppable destructive Great Whirlpool, she still attacked. Gotcha. Yunsheet smiled slightly and tapped the fan on a corner of the star map again. The ones who often understand you the best are not your friends, but your enemies. As the highest-ranked player on the Starry Sky chessboard besides the Starry Sky Chess Master, CyberElf Alpha is the person closest to Yunsheet in this world. Well, even though that distance is just a tiny bit. Asterisk smack. 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 Asterisk, in the swift and clean moves from both sides, the distant mechanical god's domain entered its highest state of readiness for battle. All civilian resources were temporarily suppressed to the lowest level, and the main resources of all mechanical god's domain were invested in supporting CyberElf Alpha. The newly built group of quantum computers on a planet faced a high-pressure real-life test, while the upgraded group of original planet's quantum computers started large-scale overclocking. Providing CyberElf Alpha with higher computing power at the cost of wearing out the hardware of the planet's quantum computer group. Especially with the new instruction set about the Great Whirlpool, the large planet's quantum computer groups processed it repeatedly, causing many of them to experience overheating in their circuits. Curious about what could make CyberElf Alpha so excited, they didn't hesitate to use the highest computing power of all the planet's quantum computer groups again for this simulation calculation. The 120th move. Suddenly, the region in the northeast corner of the star map shrank, then expanded, causing a massive whirlpool storm to sweep through the area and clear the pieces of both players without discrimination. The destructive Great Whirlpool reappeared. Cyber Elf Alpha's antenna on her forehead stood tall as she looked at the three pieces forming a triangle at the other corner of the chessboard, with quantum crystals behind them shining with endless wisdom. Just like this, come on, show me more. The mystery of Nebula Whirlpool. The third round begins. Yunshi gestured to Saint Demon to continue the losing game in that area. He signaled with a fan. Yunshi played for the first time, not to win, but to lose the game. Fortunately, this unstable star map was perfect for experimenting with this tactic, guiding the opponent towards the ending Yunshi had planned, which felt good. Generally speaking, this could be called a guiding game. Master, you have already won. Saint Demon said, no longer concerned with the outcome of the game, looking at Cyber Elf Alpha's blushing face, her breathing quickening. It was the charming and captivating look of a young girl, impossible to look away from, completely engrossed. Even knowing it was poisonous, one would still eat the forbidden fruit. This was the original sin that intelligent beings could not avoid, curiosity. Chapter 1335. The last Tianyuan Alpha is a very impressive opponent. Curiosity is not a flaw, but her strength. As the only opponent in the entire Endless Gods domain who has pushed Cyber Elf Alpha to her limits multiple times, Yunshi may be the one who understands Alpha the best. A curious and energetic deity. A simple and lovely fairy beyond the mortal world. She doesn't hate humans, and she has no interest in being a ruler among them. Her actions to change the rules of the whole mechanical gods domain are just to explore the world of Starry Sky chess better. Therefore, the only way to win Alpha's heart is through Starry Sky chess. Cyber Elf Alpha on the Starry Sky chessboard is an invincible tyrant, but at the same time, she is the most devoted player. Her love for Starry Sky chess may surpass Yunshi's as a Starry Sky chess player. Alpha, who is so dedicated and hardworking, is not someone Yunshi would dislike, but rather someone he really likes. The little moments of their first meeting were the most interesting times Yunshi had experienced on the Starry Sky chessboard. Only Cyber Elf Alpha can make Yunshi use the star collapse tactic to make a move that will go down in history on the Starry Sky chessboard. Move 160. Cyber Elf Alpha held her breath, watching closely as the Nebula Great Whirlpool appeared for the third time. In her eyes, countless streams of data intertwined and washed over. This game with the three-eyed Saintess is one of the most challenging games she has played so far, second only to the tough games against the Starry Sky chess master. The Great Whirlpool chess formation was also something she encountered for the first time. However, unlike the star collapse whose principles are still unsolved, the Great Whirlpool tactics are clear and can be followed step by step, from the setup to the final move, with connections to be discovered. For the curious Cyber Elf Alpha, this game taught her the most. In her matches against Starry Sky chess master A Cloud in the Sky, she often didn't know how she lost or where she went wrong. Even though her calculated chances of winning were high, in crucial moves, the game would quickly turn around. Despite optimizing her strategy and correcting countless mistakes, it didn't make much difference in reality. No, there was an impact, but it showed in her matches against other star chess players. The optimized strategy made it easier to defeat lower-ranked opponents within less than 50 moves, leading them to concede defeat. The problem was that these adjustments and new program goals were not effective against opponents like the Starry Sky chess master. The outcome was harsh. Her revised algorithm might have a slight effect, perhaps 5 to 10%, but against the Starry Sky chess master, it was insignificant compared to her newly built planet quantum computer systems. As the mechanical gods domain fantasy seeks to achieve all-knowing and all-powerful through infinite computational power, Cyber Elf Alpha feels she needs more information and a deeper understanding of Starry Sky chess. The gap between her and the Starry Sky chess master is not just about computational power, but a more fundamental difference. While others see her as the strongest player after the Starry Sky chess master, the gap between them is only half a step. Below her are Norn the god of wisdom, the ruby dragon Orphina, and other top star chess players. Big mistake. If the Starry Sky Chess Master, a cloud in the sky, is the pinnacle of the Starry Sky chessboard pyramid, Cyber Elf Alpha is even higher up, below just a few levels. The difference between her and the Starry Sky Chess Master is much greater than between her and Norn the god of wisdom, the ruby dragon Orphina. They are entirely different levels. The level where the Starry Sky Chess Master resides is distinct from all star chess players in the Endless Gods domain, much like the gap between the creator and a legend ranked. They are not in the same world. With her computational power exceeding thousands of times beyond a normal legend ranked, Cyber Elf Alpha dominates over opponents with much lower computational power. This made her chess style appear very dominant, full of killing intent, and unique. Without meeting the Starry Sky Chess Master, she truly is the strongest star chess player in Endless Gods domain. However, even with thousands of times the calculation power advantage of the legend ranked, facing the Starry Sky the Starry Sky chessboard, she still seemed tiny. Using Star Map as the chessboard, with stars as pieces, Starry Sky Chess is a concept game containing billions of rules and possibilities. Not to mention a calculation power base of 10,000 times the legend ranked. Even if Cyber Elf Alpha truly completed the system of quantum computers on 180,000 planets, it would still only be the tip of the iceberg compared to something like a star map. The divine beings of the legend ranked have the power to easily destroy a realm of God's domain. And each star map represents a star domain world, with many celestial bodies measured in light years. Even the existence of the legend ranked appears extremely tiny when faced with such vast entities. Why are so many of the legend ranked obsessed with Starry Sky Chess? It's because Starry Sky Chess represents endless rules and mysteries. It is the most wonderful story in the river of time, the most magnificent scenery left by countless worlds. The four corners represent universe, symbolizing infinite space. In ancient times, people used the word to represent infinite time. Starry Sky Chess represents the ultimate embodiment of the universe. Even with Cyber Elf Alpha's great calculation skills, she couldn't figure out the scale changes of the star map. There's no cheating in Starry Sky Chess. It's more about using your own talents, wisdom, and skills to the fullest to enter the world of Endless Gods domain, which symbolizes the highest wisdom. Before the Starry Sky Chess Master emerged, most of the legend-ranked players in Endless Gods domain couldn't even pass the entry test for Starry Sky Chess, showing how challenging it is to get started. The nebula whirlpool that Yunxi showed Cyber Elf Alpha is a key tactic in Starry Sky Chess. It represents one of the mysterious stages of stars that best interprets the evolution rules of Starry Sky Chess. Only Cyber Elf Alpha can understand the mysteries, as she is in a unique position and is the only star chess player in all of Endless Gods domain who can comprehend its wonders. The third great whirlpool of stars was initiated not by Yunxi, but by Cyber Elf Alpha herself, which is the best proof of her abilities. We won. The third great whirlpool indiscriminately destroyed almost all the chess pieces on the board. In the end, only one lonely chess piece stood proudly in Tianyuan's place, overlooking everything. Chapter 1336, Playing Chess is Such Fun, Is It Really Just This Left? Cyber Elf Alpha stared blankly at the last surviving Tianyuan. The nebula great whirlpool triggered by her had a power beyond her own calculations. Countless data surges had caused over 20 sets of planetary quantum computers to overheat and shut down, with more than a third of them issuing red alerts. Now her peak computing power was only 4,000 legend rank base units. If she overclocked further, more planetary quantum computer sets would overheat and shut down. Just the time to repair and replace parts would take weeks. But she still won. The current star map could no longer make moves. This was the most unbelievable and closest to the mysteries of Starry Sky Chess that Cyber Elf Alpha had experienced since entering the world of Starry Sky Chess. In the end, the only piece left on this star map was the initially unintended Tianyuan. Could it be that's why that guy always insists on taking Tianyuan first? Cyber Elf Alpha looked at the unmoving position of Tianyuan. The essence of Starry Sky Chess is to use chess pieces to harness the power of the stars' paths. All other forms are just superficial, essentially simulating the rules of the stars. Similar to occupying areas like in the game of Go, the strategies formed from this are just basic strategies for beginners. Who needs fixed strategies? Not me. It was only now that Cyber Elf Alpha fully understood this and realized why, despite adjusting her algorithms countless times, she couldn't beat the Starry Sky Chess Master. This game was the most exhilarating she had ever played, and the one from which she learned the most. For the first time, she encountered something beyond the normal rules of Starry Sky Chess. It's not that it's beyond the rules, but rather that all the rules understood by past star chess players were incomplete, only a part of Starry Sky Chess. Just like the star collapse tactic used by the Starry Sky Chess Master. Like the Great Whirlpool chess pattern she had just learned. These tactics and patterns were non-existent in the past fixed strategies, but in fact, they are the correct way to play Starry Sky Chess. Using a star map as a game board and stars as game pieces to influence the trajectories of stars in Starry Sky Chess, there is no need at all for fixed rules like a fixed formula. The stronger a star chess player is, the less they can rely on fixed rules prepared for beginners. A truly powerful star chess player should be like a Starry Sky Chess Master, unable to predict the path and development of the game. Every second, the star map changes, requiring all related algorithms and deductions to be updated. This stage is much broader and more mysterious than Cyber Elf Alpha expected. In the entire Endless Gods domain, since the appearance of the Starry Sky chessboard, there might be only one person who truly knows how to play Starry Sky Chess. Therefore, when he appears, the Starry Sky chessboard will officially be open to everyone, because Endless Gods domain finally has someone who can control the Starry Sky chessboard. Before the Starry Sky chessboard, those who are not ranked are like preschoolers in terms of skill level. Ranked players are just starting their journey into elementary school by learning the basic rules of Starry Sky Chess. If you can play chess really well, people might think you're a top player, but actually, you might just be in late primary school. Someone like Cyber Elf Alpha, who has a very high ranking, can be considered to be at a high school level at best, thanks to Cyber Elf Alpha's unique advantage in extremely high calculation power from her Endless Gods domain. As for the Starry Sky Chess Master, they graduated a long time ago. The Nebula Great Whirlpool tactic that Cyber Elf Alpha has learned is like a high school student learning some knowledge that is usually taught in university. It's like seeing a blurry gate leading to a higher world. However, reaching that gate is still far away, based on the differences in knowledge each side possesses. The complexity of the problems for Cyber Elf Alpha is like a collection of many chaotic programs, requiring a small part of the calculations to overload all the quantum computers on different planets. But for Yun Shi, it's just simple addition and subtraction. In this game, Yun Shi actually only taught Cyber Elf Alpha two things. The first one is how to set up a trap in an unstable star map to lure the enemy in and then use the Nebula Great Whirlpool tactic to go down together. This tactic isn't something that can be used on all star maps, but it's a choice made by Yun Shi after seeing this particular star map. It's one of the advanced knowledge in Starry Sky Chess. The second thing, let's go to Tianyuan. Although not all star maps are like this, Tianyuan is a very important point that can maintain stability even in a large nebula whirlpool. Cyber Elf Alpha, a good student who is humble in learning, handed in an outstanding answer sheet. Well, not so important, Saint Demon's goal has been exceeded. Do you like it? If you do, I can accompany you to play chess in the future. May the gods bless you, Alpha. Without too much embellishment, just a calm and peaceful smile, a subtle hint, completely captivated the curious cyber elf Alpha. Okay. Come with me. We play chess together every day. Cyber elf Alpha's views on good and evil are so pure. She finally found an opponent that can make her go all out again, and she must seize the opportunity. The elusive starry sky chess master, a cloud in the sky, is nowhere to be found, so she has to use the three-eyed holy maiden as a substitute. She had spent countless resources on this, causing more than a tenth of the planetary quantum computer array to shut down just to win a single move against a strong opponent. She can't wait to start the next game. She learned a lot from the previous one. If it wasn't for the Red Heart Queen's ball tonight, she would have made Saint Demon continue playing with her. Finding an opponent who can match her strength is crucial for Cyber Elf Alpha. Playing against opponents several levels lower than her is really boring. You are truly a good girl. Saint Demon held Cyber Elf Alpha's hand, his eyes filled with tenderness. Everything went according to plan. You too. The quantum crystal behind Cyber Elf Alpha glowed red and hot, a sign of extreme excitement. Finally, she met the right person. More precious than 100 portions of the legend-ranked delicacy, more important than building 10,000 planets of quantum computing arrays, was the miracle that belonged to her. Clumsy as a fawn, Cyber Elf Alpha was in a state of ecstasy. Snap! Under the stage, Flora smashed the plate in front of her, glaring angrily at Cyber Elf Alpha, who was holding hands with Saint Demon. Alpha, this isn't chess. Chapter 1337, A Two-Way Strategy. Come on. Let's review the game. Cyber Elf Alpha thought she had played a perfect game and excitedly grabbed the hand of the faceless god, inviting Saint Demon warmly. Saint Demon nodded. Saint Demon had plenty of experience dealing with beings of extraordinary intelligence who did not bother with worldly matters. Being a representative of this type herself, she was often chosen by the deities as a heavenly demon, easily becoming a holy maiden, priestess, or messenger of the gods. This nickname, Three-Eyed Holy Maiden, also came from this. How did you spot the issues in this star map? Is initiating a vortex in this area the best move? What is the principle behind this great whirlpool? Setting aside her cold and aloof electronic divine demeanor, the being was now just a curious and knowledge-thirsty girl eager to review with Saint Demon. The one who made Cyber Elf Alpha show this look was none other than Yunshi. Here, there were chaotic star patterns from the beginning. Following the order, next is here, and here. The destruction spread in 3 areas, eventually engulfing the entire star map. Standing behind Saint Demon, Yunshi explained the mysteries of this star map to Cyber Elf Alpha in the simplest way possible. Cyber Elf Alpha listened with great fascination, realizing how Starry Sky chess was played and how it could be played differently. Finally understanding why no matter how much computing power was increased, there was no chance of winning against the Starry Sky chess master. It's not just because the calculating power of the legend rank is not enough for the vast universe, but more importantly, she has not yet found the true way to discover and use the power of the stars. Yunshi was also happy, even though he borrowed Saint Demon's power to communicate with Cyber Elf Alpha. Playing chess truly made him happy, and playing with Cyber Elf Alpha, even intentionally losing to her, was very enjoyable. Great, just like that, watching the two people getting along so well, Saint Demon felt confident as their connection point. Everything is under control. There is no need to use the outdated seductive skills of the Enchantress, for Cyber Elf Alpha, an almost otherworldly electronic spirit, none of those enchantments work. The only thing that can touch her heart is the representation of infinite wisdom. Similarly, this is also the only way to move Saint Demon. Under Yunshi's guidance of Starry Sky Chess, it is not just Cyber Elf Alpha who is being strategized but also Saint Demon, who directly faces Cyber Elf Alpha. In a way, this could be considered a highly challenging duel strategy. I see. I made a mistake in my calculations from the beginning. Cyber Elf Alpha's fingers moved along with Saint Demon's, following a unique rhythm as they each placed their chess pieces. Every touch of their fingertips brought a new kind of satisfaction, a thrilling sense of excitement. Cyber Elf Alpha didn't know how to describe this feeling, something she only vaguely felt when playing against Starry Sky Chess Master, a cloud in the sky. A suffocating anxiety, uncertainty about the future, and the frustration of losing would overwhelm Cyber Elf Alpha every time she played against Starry Sky Chess Master. For Cyber Elf Alpha, it was always a challenging bet, risking everything, although she had lost all previous matches. Despite being mentally strong, losing constantly took a toll on Cyber Elf Alpha. To overcome this, she tirelessly worked on refining her strategies and building more planet quantum computer arrays. Everything was in pursuit of defeating the monstrous Starry Sky Chess Master. This goal remained unshaken for 10,000 years. However, even with plans to expand the mechanical gods domain and build 180,000 planet quantum computer arrays, Cyber Elf Alpha was unsure if she could beat Starry Sky Chess Master. The resources needed to operate 180,000 planet quantum computer arrays were unimaginable for ordinary people. Investing such massive computing power in Starry Sky chess battles seemed like meaningless waste to others. Cyber Elf Alpha paid no attention to these concerns. Her only worry was whether building 180,000 planet quantum computer arrays would guarantee victory. No one could answer Cyber Elf Alpha's question. This was a field that only she ventured into. Now, Cyber Elf Alpha knew what she was missing. The three-eyed Holy Maiden used her unique and creative tactics to open a new door for Cyber Elf Alpha, revealing a world full of endless imagination. Holding Saint Demon's hand, Cyber Elf Alpha watched every move she made in the game with delight on her face. Initially copying the opening moves of the Starry Sky chess master Tianyuan, Cyber Elf Alpha's pieces were torn apart by the Great Whirlpool, putting her at a disadvantage. In the middle game, Cyber Elf Alpha started learning the tactics of the Great Whirlpool, feeling the power and trajectory of the stars in intense battles, gradually catching up with her opponent's pace. Finally mastering how to unleash the secret of the Nebula Great Whirlpool, but underestimating its power, Cyber Elf Alpha suffered a devastating blow to the entire star map. What was supposed to be a mutual destruction ended differently because of Tianyuan's unexpected move, winning by a single piece. The ups and downs of the unfolding story captivated Cyber Elf Alpha, making her blush and her heart race. Watching the final move as the Great Whirlpool destroyed everything, leaving only Tianyuan symbolizing hope, Cyber Elf Alpha closed her eyes and held Saint Demon's hand tightly. This is a miracle, it's fate. Saint Demon watched as Cyber Elf Alpha fell for Jiang Taigung's fishing bait willingly. Of course, she didn't tell her that this game was set up from start to finish, specifically targeting Cyber Elf Alpha's personality traits. However, now this strategy seemed to have a slight negative effect. Yunshi himself didn't realize the impact he had on Cyber Elf Alpha, the reigning queen of Starry Sky chess in the Endless Gods domain, as he calmly guided her moves in the game. Before Cyber Elf Alpha appeared, Saint Demon was a top star chess player in the Endless Gods domain and a regular on the Starry Sky chessboard. She couldn't comprehend Yunshi's mastery of the Starry Sky chess like Cyber Elf Alpha did, but even understanding just a part of it broadened Saint Demon's horizons. This is a person favored by the stars, standing at the pinnacle of wisdom in the Endless Gods domain. Cyber Elf Alpha was intoxicated, unable to resist falling deeper. Even Saint Demon, who guided Yunshi's moves in the game, couldn't escape being captivated by the world's only Starry Sky chess master. On the stage of the noble ladies, there was a feeling of love in the air among the young girls. Chapter 1338, Azura and Battle God in the Void. As 12 nightmare sovereigns watched the two holding hands, they all doubted their own eyes. Can this be possible? Gerdala, you are in the third stage of Starry Sky Chess. Have you noticed anything? I can't understand, the gap in skill level is too big. What kind of monster did Ada bring over? At that moment, no nightmare sovereign dared to underestimate the seemingly expressionless faceless god. Even Ouroboros aside, Cyber Elf Alpha could possess the potential of a creator-level new electronic deity, a unique legend rank that the entire Endless Gods domain is watching closely. In this game of Starry Sky Chess, the prince brought by Ada unexpectedly played evenly with the tyrant Cyber Elf Alpha on the Starry Sky chessboard, and eventually lost by just one move. You see, among the 12 Nightmare Sovereigns here, more than half of them haven't even completed their level advancement yet. Understanding the power of stars is not something common in the Nightmare world, which symbolizes negative creatures with intelligence. Be with me. Taking advantage of Cyber Elf Alpha's focus on guiding the game, Saint Demon made a move. It doesn't need to be grand or involve any gifts, winning over Cyber Elf Alpha is that simple. If you play chess, she will like you. Well, of course, you need to show exceptional chess skills that can impress her first. Throughout Endless Gods domain, there is only one person who can do this. Okay. Let's go back to Mechanical Gods domain now. Holding Saint Demon's hand, Cyber Elf Alpha, full of excitement, had long forgotten that this was the stage of the Red Heart Queen's masquerade. Saint Demon shrugged his shoulders. The strategy is complete, Master. With a flash of light, Cyber Elf Alpha's bewildered expression vanished on the stage. The second round challenge for the prince, the strategy against Cyber Elf Alpha, concluded. Alpha, is playing chess fun? Flora asked with a displeased expression, looking at Cyber Elf Alpha who still seemed lost in thought. Of course, Starry Sky Chess is the greatest mystery in this world. Cyber Elf Alpha realized that she was still at the Red Heart Queen's party. Is the senior's chess skill impressive? Flora looked around, not thinking Cyber Elf Alpha was the type to deceive. Rather, this was a dangerously innocent the legend rank, it seemed impossible for her to deceive anyone. Very strong, probably not beneath me. The more she reflected on the last game, the more she felt. Cyber Elf Alpha watched the resting faceless god on the stage with a focused look, eager to start the next game immediately. A true master indeed, even in a game of chess. Flora wrote Cyber Elf Alpha's name in her little notebook, ready for future reference. The battle continues. As the pillar of light descended, the third chosen princess was revealed, Cassina the battle god. Cassina, it's your turn now. Don't be too hard on them. Ouroboros, who knew her dear friend well, lazily lay on her seat, trying to soften Yunshi's stance. No problem, I will cooperate. Cassina the battle god shrugged her shoulders and stepped onto the stage. The river of time flowed from the edge of the world. This was the domain of Cassina the battle god, the world of the sand of time. In the vast desert, the faceless god stood in the center of the world, awaiting the arrival of Cassina the battle god from above. This time, it's up to you. Yunshi chose the heavenly demon, the most unfamiliar to him, without hesitation, despite all the charms and stories. Facing the monstrous creatures born from bloodshed, battlefields, killing, and death, the Azura. Hey! You made the right choice. She has the scent I like. On the face of the faceless god, the cold expressionless face, the corners of the mouth gradually opened, revealing a creepy and chilling evil smile. In the void, all 12 Nightmare Sovereigns simultaneously felt something, casting their gaze together towards the desert. What is this scent? It's completely different from before. Yes, this is the smell of blood and fire. Wow, this Prince Ada found has such amazing talent. Even Cassina the battle god was a bit surprised, she recognized this energy. In the past Battle Gods Grand Martial Arts Tournament, she once faced an opponent with this kind of energy, one of the top 5 enemies she encountered on the tournament stage. That enemy practiced a terrifying martial art called the 8-sided demon god road, growing 3 heads and 6 arms, using completely non-human-like terrifying skills, resembling a demon descended. Cassina, the undefeated battle god. Azura licked his lips and moved the hands and feet of the faceless god. Everything is fine here and there, the overall structure is excellent. Looking at the possessed body, this body is close to perfection. Although it is a bit regrettable without any special abilities added, this divine vessel's body itself is the greatest treasure. Azura is the most formidable group among the heavenly demons and has the highest combat talent among the heavenly demons. Every Azura is a monster with exceptional talent. Even Impermanent does not surpass Azura in combat talent, but merely possesses Azura's exceptional talent. Pafu, strengthen. The Azura who took over the body of the faceless god adeptly activated Pafu's burst mode. The brand new Pafu's subtype has better immunity than before, coupled with Elphilis's eternal ice coffin as a cooling device, prolonging the faceless god's full combat time by more than 3 times. The current faceless god can enter full serious mode within 15 minutes. For Azura, this is enough. With Cassina the battle god, there is no need for love talk. Cassina the battle god prefers the strong, the more powerful the better. Yunshi was taken in as a disciple by Cassina the battle god, hoping for his future growth to surpass that of Cassina the battle god and be able to fight at full strength with him. Just like Cassina the battle god Azura, Azura is also extreme in his ways and believes in achieving goals through killing. It doesn't matter where we are, having a perfect body feels amazing, hasn't happened in a long time. Cassina, long time no see. Last time, I only used the talent of the 8 directions in my body. This time, I'll show you the power of the 10-sided demon god road. Azura's mouth slowly curved into a smile, a face that didn't belong to the faceless god, but symbolized killing and death as the heavenly demon. Yet, before every battle, Azura would smile. This was the beginning of Azura's moment, the start of a bloody and violent storm. Chapter 1339, 10-sided demon god road. Azura has unique standards for the body he chooses. Humans who transform into Azuras often carry deep grudges, some even emerging as monsters from the piles of dead in battle. They lose everything and suffer the world's injustices, swearing to seek revenge at any cost and make their enemies pay. Some exceptional ones attract Azura's attention and are chosen by the heavenly demon to become killing monsters in the mortal realm. They kill all their enemies, using their blood and corpses to fulfill the heavenly demon's purpose. These monsters, completely consumed by revenge and devoid of human emotions, become Azuras, evil spirits of vengeance capable of unimaginable carnage. Only a few can harness the power of Azura while suppressing their killing intent, transforming it into strength to break the boundaries between heroes and legends, embracing the path of Azura. Known as the Killing Princess, formerly ranked 3rd among the great sword maids, she perfectly harnesses the power of Azura, even amidst mountains of corpses, managing to refrain from harming her own kind. Her exceptional talent drew the attention of her, leading to an unbelievable transformation at the moment of death, becoming impermanent. The Azuras refer to such talents ideal for becoming Azuras as squares. The Azura that Cassina the battle god once encountered on the 8-sided demon god road is now forming a contract with Yunshi. The combined body of the faceless god and Yunshi is even more outstanding than when Azura met Cassina the battle god last time, making it a suitable vessel for the 10-sided demon god road. For the warlike Azura, this is truly a rare opportunity that comes once in a millennium. Have we met before? As Cassina the battle god sensed the battle spirit emanating from Azura, she too became excited. This is the intuition of a battle god when facing a rare opponent worth taking seriously. No. This is our first meeting. Azura did not lie. This is indeed their first encounter with the body of the ten-sided demon god Road and Cassina the battle god. Last time, Azura unfortunately lost to Cassina the battle god and was even killed by her as Azura's power went out of control. But Azura was very satisfied. Dying on the battlefield is Azura's destiny. The enchantress died because of her beauty attracting trouble. Saint Demon died because fate needed it, and he directed his own ending. Azura died in battle, with each kill adding to the toll. The fate of Heavenly Demon is death, without exception. This is a strange phenomenon born from worldly emotions and thoughts, destined to be born and die by fate, transcending above the mundane world. So, do we fight? From Azura, Cassina the battle god also sensed a familiar scent. Full of malice, a very pure smell of slaughter, as if bearing the rusted smell of countless battlefields. Ah, of course, this is romantic. Isn't it, Cassina the battle god? Azura took a deep breath, then stepped forward with his right foot. All the mechanisms and circuits of the god without a face were activated in this step, entering a state of super high overload. Roar! A roar that made the whole desert tremble, shaking the gravel underfoot into countless powders, spreading out. The roar of Azura. The power of the contained vibration even spread out to tens of kilometers, forming the embryonic form of a huge vortex. At the same time as this roar, a red blood light appeared on the body of the god without a face. That was the domineering power unique to Azura, a world that Yunshi had not yet touched, and one of the bloodiest and most terrifying mysteries in the inheritance of the great sword made the killing princess. The silver-white god without a face, covered in bloodlight, exuded an extremely fierce aura. Half of the 12 nightmare sovereigns in the void were shining with their eyes on this kind of god without a face. Just like how the gods like to choose fables as their messengers on earth, Azura, who carries the fate of slaughter and blood, is also an old god that the nightmare sovereigns like. The faceless god embodying Azura's form is quite appealing to many nightmare sovereigns. Very good, very good. I underestimated Ada. This prince she brought this time is not just an ordinary legend rank. It's been a while since I've felt this kind of killing intent. Boom! A huge column of sand surged into the sky, transforming into an incredibly majestic whale silhouette, crashing down heavily. This is one of Cassina the battle god's ultimate skills, sand whale collapsing, a destructive blow struck with the power of the endless desert. In the midst of swirling bloodlight, a fist as sharp as a blade shot up from the ground, fearlessly meeting the sand whale blast of Cassina the battle god. Though not a weapon in itself, this blood-red fist struck with a force that tore through the sky, a characteristic of the Azura's ten-sided demon god style. Azura didn't need other original god weapons, for Azura's own body was the best weapon, a tool for killing. The faceless god, capable of bearing the power of the ten-sided demon god Road, was the perfect weapon for Azura. The sand whale roared. The blood blade split the sky. The battle was intense from the very beginning. Even on the stage of the Battle Gods Grand Martial Arts Tournament, this was a match nearing the finals. Even Yunshi discovered for the first time that once the Azura among the 4 heavenly demons obtained the body of the faceless god, they could unleash such terrifying power. The Paranormative Assavartan Scroll, can it really be used in this way? It is amazing how the scriptures of Buddhism can bring true destiny. He felt a deep connection to the White Lotus Sword Palace, owing a huge favor to the mysterious light ball in the secret room. We have fought before. Cassina the battle god landed gracefully on the ground, almost certain that he had faced this opponent before. Not just once, but multiple times, the intense pressure and killing intent were not something an ordinary legend rank could possess. There were indeed a few ruthless individuals who mastered this unique fighting technique. Their most striking feature was pulling out their limbs from within their bodies to use as weapons in combat. I have fought opponents similar to you before, but I am stronger than them. For Azura, each incarnation brought a new life experience. The Azura who had battled Cassina the battle god in the past had reached the end of her life journey. Even though the current Azura still held memories of fighting Cassina the battle god, she was not the same Azura as before. The legacy of Azura was ruthless and cruel. Only through endless slaughter could one achieve the ultimate power of the heavenly demon. The symbol of the supreme status of the heavenly demon, impermanent, derives her combat talent from the Azura lineage. The enchanting power of the enchantress. The wisdom of Saint Demon. Azura's talent in battles. The combination of the three, along with the elusive fate, creates impermanent. Chapter 1340, Battle Gods Dance, Part 1, indeed, stronger than before. Cassina the battle god flexed her wrist. The killing intent released from the blood-red blade in the recent clash was the strongest encountered so far. When facing opponents similar to martial artists, their bodies covered in intense blood light, they tended to lose some of their senses. Their bodies couldn't fully withstand Azura's demon god martial art, gradually losing their nature in the midst of killing. Like the killing princess, the more she kills, the calmer she gets, and in the end, she can control her violent tendencies, which is extremely rare. Azura, who made a contract with Yun Shi, had encountered the best body so far, but it only reached the level of the eight-sided demon god road. In Azura's criteria for choosing a body, the lowest line is one end, below this line you cannot descend, and above 6 sides is the excellent line, where you can unleash more than half of your power. The 10-sided demon god road is where Azura's power can be fully unleashed, and it is the embodiment that all Azuras like to descend in. The difference between 8 sides and 10 sides is not just 20%, when it comes to battles at the legend rank level, even the slightest 1% difference will be greatly magnified. Then, try this. Cassina the battle god reached out his right hand, then clenched his 5 fingers, assuming a stance familiar to Yun Shi. Like a slingshot poised to its limit, Cassina the battle god's fingers flicked out, compressing the air into a visible air projectile. Finger thunder, a technique that can only be unleashed between the fingers of one whose body has transcended the level of mere physicality, the power is enough to blast through mountains. Azura also assumed the same stance as Cassina the battle god, but instead of an air projectile, Azura unleashed streams of blood-colored spiritual light. Blood Shah Sword, a proud long-distance sniping technique of Azura, turning his own blood into weapon projectiles. The energy balls and flashes of blood met in the air, exploding continuously. Cassina the battle god's finger thunder has the ability to pierce through. Azura's Blood Shah Sword has the ability to explode. The large bursts of blood light were the result of Azura's Blood Shah Sword exploding. Indeed, she's experienced. Cassina the battle god was familiar with this style of combat, as few opponents in the Battle Gods Grand Martial Arts Tournament had left such a deep impression on her. The opponent wrapped in this blood-colored flame was very skilled at using a part of her body as a weapon. They didn't need a god weapon, they only used their bodies as weapons. Their blood, hair, and bones were all part of their weapons. It wasn't a solid body, nor a soft body, but a more ferocious form. As long as the blood-colored flame on their bodies didn't extinguish, they could fight endlessly. To defeat them, the only way is to completely scatter the crimson flames on their bodies. Their attack and defense might not be the best, but their endurance and fighting spirit have reached an unbelievable level. As long as they are conscious, they will never stop fighting, and the more they are hurt, the stronger they become. Relying on their almost indestructible bodies, those with this trait have even made it into the top 8 of the Battle Gods Grand Martial Arts Tournament. Well, then they unluckily met Cassina the battle god. The power of the 10 directions is really useful. Azura competed evenly with Cassina the battle god's finger thunder, feeling very satisfied with the body of the faceless god. The difference between the 10 directions and the 8 directions is not just a 20% increase in power, but more importantly, it's the flawless synchronization. Only with this 100% perfect synchronization can the power of the demon god martial art be fully unleashed. The demon god martial art, refined through endless killings, is the top extraordinary martial art in the endless god's domain, possessing the characteristic of getting stronger with each battle. The stronger the opponent, the more powerful demon god martial art will become. Fighting with Cassina the battle god in the past greatly inspired the Asura tribe's martial arts heritage. This time, the Asura who formed a contract with Yun Shi, for the first time, luckily could fully use the 10-sided demon god road and fight with their opponents in the battle god's grand martial arts tournament with all their strength. Even though the time was short, only 15 minutes, it was enough. Hey! Asura opened their hands, then slowly closed them, feeling every nerve and detail of the faceless god transmitting to Asura's heart. Warm-up ends here. Cassina the battle god, who had initially just come to observe, became very interested in the Asura in front of them. Asura who stepped onto the 10-sided demon god road, field, displayed potential that excited them. They could fight seriously now. For Cassina the battle god, this was a rare worthy opponent. Agreed. Asura put their hands together, smiling mysteriously, showing a compassionate attitude like a butcher turning into a Buddha in an instant. Of course, this is fake. Asura is a bloodthirsty demon, the fiercest and most crazy creature among the heavenly demons. He always refrains from using his power, but once he strikes, he will unleash unstoppable killing. As blood splattered, Asura made the first move. Fine bloodlines tore through the sky. Those were longer and more concentrated blood blade attacks than the Bloodshaw sword used in the previous clash. With blood as his sword and bones as his blade, Asura himself is a terrifying killing weapon, and on the battlefield, this Bloodshaw sword can not only tear through enemy bodies but also absorb their blood to replenish his energy. The more fiercely he fights, the stronger he becomes. This is Asura's characteristic on the battlefield. Numerical advantage means nothing to Asura. The Bloodshaw sword allows him to absorb enemy blood to replenish his energy during times when he is not yet powerful enough. Of course, a legendary Asura does not need to use the Bloodshaw sword to replenish his energy. The 10-sided demon god road itself can provide Asura with almost limitless stamina. If it weren't for the restrictions of the Pafu system, Asura could have battled Faceless God's body and Cassina the battle god for 7 days and 7 nights. The last time Asura, who had achieved the full power of the 8-sided demon god road, fought against Cassina the battle god, they battled from morning till dusk before being defeated. Cassina the battle god changed her fighting style, striking the sharp blood blade with her palm. Like transparent ripples spreading out, wave after wave of ripples rippled on the blood blade tearing through the atmosphere. Asura's blood blade, a god weapon level weapon, shattered into pieces in these waves of ripples. Cassina the battle god used a special move called the soft water palm, which was specifically designed to destroy god weapons, to make opponents with powerful god weapons in the battle god's grand martial arts tournament resentful. During the initial stages of evolution when the fusion of flexibility and strength was not yet completed, Cassina the battle god used this technique the most. A gentle approach can break through any defense invisibly. Chapter 1341, Battle God's Dance, Part 2. Compared to Yun Shi, who is still in the early stage of practicing soft water palm, Cassina the battle god's soft water palm has reached a level where a single palm strike can even destroy Asura's bloodline god weapon. In a way, Cassina the battle god is a more terrifying creature than Asura. The invisible shockwaves are at a frequency that the human body cannot withstand. Within the seemingly gentle palm lies a tremendously frightening power. After shattering the Bloodshaw sword with one palm strike, Cassina the battle god instantly disappeared from the original spot. Here it comes. Yun Shi couldn't even see how Cassina the battle god rushed in front of him, while Asura had already reacted. Clenching his fists tightly, bloodlight dancing, facing the empty space in front of him, Azura suddenly unleashed a barrage of 999 punches. Surrounded by blood-colored flames, the fists produced deafening explosions in the air. This was a move that Yunshi didn't need to think about now, capable of breaking through the earth's crust with Azura's continuous blood fists. Amidst the endless bloodlight, all 999 punches landed on a rapidly moving object, then were counterattacked by some unseen strike. Yunshi opened his eyes wide, trying to see clearly the attacks and defenses of both sides. It was impossible. This was a battle that went far beyond his consciousness and reflex limits. Whether it was Azura or Cassina the battle god, their attacks and defenses were beyond Yunshi's understanding. His mental strength as a hero-ranked baker could not handle the intensity of this battle. The afterimages that Yunshi could see, Azura's 999 punches, Cassina the battle god's kicks, were all results that he only recognized a second later. If he wasn't in sync with Azura, he wouldn't even know how many punches Azura threw or what techniques were used. As for Cassina the battle god across from him, Yunshi couldn't even see her shadow. Punch. Kick. Shoulder charge. Elbow strike. Headbutt. Between the sky and the earth, a series of loud noises rang out. Both sides were moving and attacking at high speed, leaving a trail of afterimages in the air due to the fast pace. Every time, the slow-to-react Yunshi thought he was about to be struck by the attacks of his teacher, Cassina the battle god. He couldn't even see how his teacher launched the attacks. It was an attack launched by the battle god of legend rank at a speed that the eyes couldn't react to. Trying to respond to such attacks by using the five senses to perceive and then react was too late. Before you see or hear the attack from Cassina the battle god, you're already defeated by Cassina the battle god. Intuition. The ability honed through countless battles, and the spontaneous formation of a field, after experiencing the terror of life and death numerous times. An eye for an eye. A tooth for a tooth. A fist for a fist. Azura took on all the attacks from Cassina the battle god, showcasing the full power of the Shura clan's demon god martial arts with the perfect qualifications of the 10-sided demon god road. In the past, when fighting Cassina the battle god, as soon as Cassina the battle god entered serious mode and unleashed these super-fast attacks that surpassed Azura's reflex limits, even the mighty Azura could not avoid getting hit. Being able to block 70% of Cassina the battle god's attacks is the upper limit of the 8-sided demon god road. The remaining 30% of the attacks can only be endured by Azura's body. Even with Azura's indestructible body, he often found himself nearly overwhelmed by Cassina the battle god's relentless strikes. Where am I? Who am I fighting against? How long have I been beaten? This is a question that all players who battle Cassina the battle god at the legend rank will encounter. Most people can't even withstand one of Cassina the battle god's fast attacks and will start questioning life within 10 seconds, and then end up defeated. The Shura clan's demon god martial art can counter Cassina the battle god's fast attacks. The problem is that the vessel possessed by Azura cannot fully unleash the power of the demon god martial art, so in the past, everyone who encountered Cassina the battle god ended up losing without exception. This time, Azura contracted with Yun. She can finally stand tall and fight Cassina the battle god with full power. Left side. Right side. This time, it's a heavy punch. A kick is coming from below. The blood blade flashes, and again, it can be said that the fists and feet of Endless God's domain continuously intertwine with Cassina the battle god. Again and again, the weapon shattered, broke, and turned into a god weapon used by the legend rank. Probably more than 10 of them have been wasted by now. Normal level god weapons simply couldn't withstand the punches and kicks of Cassina the battle god, like a fierce storm. Only Azura's demon god martial art, which can transform parts of the body into god weapons for combat, could endure such damage. Every time Cassina the battle god destroyed the Bloodshaw sword, another one would immediately form. 3 minutes is the highest record of Azura not being injured by Cassina the battle god's attacks, a miracle of the 10-sided demon god road. But this is also the limit. The terrifying thing about the soft water palm is not just its ability to silently destroy the opponent's god weapon, but also the deadly damage caused by the water waves spreading around, even if the opponent is not directly hit. This damage caused a big loss to the Pafu system inside the faceless god. The Paphis with high temperature and cold resistance once again suffered a widespread death event. One by one, the Pafu dissolved into a puddle of mud under the invisible influence of Cassina the battle god's soft water palm, ending their mission. Oh no! Yunshi was shocked to discover this. Things were not looking good. Without the support of the Pafu system, the faceless god was unable to move. Azura also noticed this. In just a moment of distraction, the faceless god was kicked by Cassina the battle god and instantly crashed into the ground. The continuous high-speed attacks determined the victor in that moment. Deep in the desert. Ah! I forgot about this weakness. Azura wiped the sand from his eyes and looked at the current status of the Pafu system inside the faceless god. The situation was very grim. Cassina the battle god's attack completely broke through Azura's blood veil defense, directly harming the internal Pafu subbody of the faceless god. More than a third of the Pafu warriors were seriously injured, 1/10 of them died completely, and the rest were also not in good shape. It can be said that they were completely defeated by Cassina the battle god in an instant. It's really unsatisfying. I only fought for a few minutes. Azura felt somewhat troubled. He had finally obtained a body that could use the demon god martial art, but it was immediately exploited by Cassina the battle god, showing weaknesses. Would he have to repeat his past failures next? It was such a waste to obtain the body of the 10-sided demon god road. Azura pondered for a moment. Azura decided not to waste this opportunity and continue fighting. Azura started to activate the secret technique of the demon god martial art, his fighting power increasing, at the cost of deactivating the shield mode. Master. Are you afraid of pain? Chapter 1342, Battle God's Dance, Part 3, Is Yunshi afraid of pain? Of course, no one likes pain. Humans naturally fear pain as a survival instinct. Memories passed down in our blood tell us what we can endure and what we should never touch. Just like how animals instinctively avoid fire, pain helps humans stay away from danger to protect their lives. Getting burned by fire hurts. Getting killed means dying. In the dark forest, Yunshi faced the terror of a green-skinned hippo for the first time. Being stepped on, torn apart, crushed, each death taught Yunshi the true struggle between life and death. One wrong step, 1 second too late, could lead to death. Only by the bonfire could Yunshi feel the happiness of still being alive. If it weren't for the breathing techniques taught by Huahua, and the green-skinned hippo's behavior pattern he learned from facing death multiple times, just the first obstacle in the dark forest could make Yunshi struggle for the rest of his life. Translated by Gravity Tales. Unlike others, who don't have the privilege of a free bonfire resurrection, even a top-tier third-level warrior facing a green-skinned hippo for the first time is facing certain death, without a chance for a second try. It's okay, give it your all, Yunshi took a deep breath. Battle was Azura's specialty, and her judgments were always right. Yunshi chose to trust Azura, bracing himself for the pain. Well, now it's time to release your shield, it's going to hurt a lot. Azura lacked experience fighting alongside Yunshi and wasn't sure about his endurance. In the past, the bodies Azura inhabited were those who had lost everything, on the brink of losing their sanity. Such bodies could no longer feel pain even if pierced by swords. The most extreme case was one who seemed to be pierced by 1,000 arrows through the heart, yet remained standing. What sustained them was an incredibly strong will, a burning desire for revenge. Only bodies like these were suitable for Azura's presence. However, losing the ability to feel pain wasn't entirely a good thing. Some of Azura's secret techniques can only be used by experiencing pain and facing great challenges. Only by truly feeling pain can one unleash stronger power. The closer to death, the more tortured, the more violent the burning power in the blood. This is Azura, a natural-born warrior. The talent of the 10-sided demon god Road can fully convey this pain. Master is coming. To catch a tiger's cub, one must enter its lair. Disaster of bloodlight, wrath of the heavens. Azura, demonic body. Beneath the desert, streaks of bloodlight roam in the sand, as if a huge beast is raging deep underground, roaring. Has it begun? Cassina the battle god stood at the top of the sand dune, watching the boiling sea of sand. Having clashed with the Shura clan multiple times, she recognized that stance, sacrificing some of her human form to gain surpassing strength in battle. Her fighting style almost abandoned all defense, as if she had completely unleashed her power. That was the posture of the four-armed Azura, the shadow of a demon worshipped by countless primitive tribes. In addition to human hands, the Azura in this mode would grow another pair of arms, doubling the number of blood blades that they could control, with a fully autonomous attacking consciousness. The entire sea of sand was boiling, the blood-red disaster flowing through the desert like ignited blood, burning, turning the whole sand sea into this glaring crimson color. Azura Hell, this was the grand entrance of the four-armed Azura, the world ablaze was the proclamation of the demon descending. Ah! Roaring with even more killing intent than before, the Azura burst out of the ground, sent flying by Cassina the battle god, from where the faceless god emerged. Ha! Not the four-armed one. Cassina the battle god looked somewhat surprised at the faceless god completed with demon body. The faceless god wrapped in blood light suddenly grew two pairs of bloody arms. This is a six-armed Azura that Cassina the battle god has never encountered before, a demonic body that only an Azura who has reached the realm of the 10-sided demon god Road can cultivate. Very good, master, you are excellent. Azura was very pleased with Yunshi's performance. Growing 4 extra arms from his own body, this was not something created by the faceless god, but flesh and blood incarnations torn directly from Yunshi's body. The pain was as intense as an amputation, tearing off one's own limbs, and then twisting and grafting them onto the trunk. Moreover, this was not a one-time torment. As long as maintaining the appearance of the six-armed Azura, one must continuously endure such pain, like being punished in hell. In comparison, the pain of being pierced through the heart with a sword, or having one's head blown off, is temporary. The sensation is lost within minutes, but maintaining the six-armed demon stance requires enduring this kind of pain constantly. Thus, Azura would ask Yunshi before using this move whether he was afraid of pain. For a normal human, maintaining this state for 1 minute would lead to blurred consciousness, excessive blood loss, and approaching the brink of death. Only those with strong willpower and endurance, or who have experienced this level of pain more than once, can afford the cost of this secret technique. Yunshi was speechless, his mind completely consumed by endless pain, as if he had returned to the time he faced the green-skinned hippo in the dark forest. However, this time there was no bonfire checkpoint, he could only rely on his consciousness to resist this seemingly endless agony. Yes, that's it, embrace the pain, overcome the fear. Fight. Master, with me. Azura was completely satisfied with Yunshi's performance, not only for his potential in the 10-sided demon god Road, but also for his ability to endure and embrace pain. Azura desired a vessel like this. Amidst bloodshed and slaughter, the indestructible body is achieved. There is nothing left to fear. To conquer death, you have to overcome the fear of it. Amazing skill, activate. The 10-sided demon god Road, six-armed demon appears. With blood-red battle marks on the forehead spreading, Azura leaped up, wielding 6 blood blades in its 6 arms, launching a counterattack against the mighty Cassina the battle god. Not even the countless gods and Buddhas can suppress the wrath of Azura. Azura's 100 Ghosts attack, unleash. This time, the attack is coming from this side, Cassina the battle god. The sword blade storm tearing through the heavens instantly covers the entire desert sea in billions of red lines. This move is powerful enough to shatter a part of God's domain and make the world mourn. Watching the countless blood blades that seem to distort even the light, Cassina the battle god smiled slightly. His palm facing down, gently lifted up, fingertips pointing to the sky, then dropped down, facing the sky full of blood swords with the palm of his hand. Spin, jump. That is, battle god's dance. Chapter 1343, Shura breaking fist like scooping the moon out of the water, plucking stars from the sky. The soft and nimble palm, as if playing the strings of the world, performing an incredibly beautiful melody. At the Battle Gods Grand Martial Arts Tournament, this dance-like posture has defeated countless who thought they could win against Cassina the battle god of the legend rank. The graceful dance known as Battle God's Dance, pursued by all the dancers in Endless God's domain. Even the million blood blades that can tear the world apart turned into a magnificent background before Battle God's Dance. Each blood blade grasped by delicate hands, then gently shaken, flicked, and turned into countless pieces. Azura let out a thunderous roar, with 2 pairs of Azura battle arms forming different seals simultaneously, giving off a moment of solemnity and dignity. In the midst of his torment, Yun-Shi, in a daze, caught a glimpse of shadows belonging to the Buddhist sect. If I don't go to hell, who will? The body of the faceless god tensed violently, the surrounding blood light contracted in one breath, merging into the body of the faceless god. Just after having suffered great injuries, the Pafu's bodies absorbed the bloodthirsty power of Azura, rapidly multiplying like they were revitalized, dividing, and replenishing the parts that were killed by soft water palm. The characteristic of Pafu, to devour and assimilate different elemental powers, gaining corresponding resistance abilities, was fully displayed at this moment. Even though Cassina the battle god's soft water palm has an unstoppable penetrating power, after taking a big hit, the Pafu bodies also developed corresponding resistance. This is Pafu's growth power, combined with Azura's strength, and Yun-Shi is now completely integrated. Those bloodthirsty powers that drive people crazy with just a touch also became a part of Pafu. After pushing his state to the limit, Azura finally unleashed the strongest punch ever seen, even surpassing Cassina the battle god. Azura. Boundary-breaking fist. In that moment, Azura seemed to transform into a towering giant, exuding an aura of invincibility and unwavering determination. With that punch, all the blood blades around and the shattered blood blade fragments were absorbed. In the depths of consciousness, it seemed that Buddhist monks were sensing Azura's descent and reciting Buddhist scriptures. Great compassion, reaching ultimate bliss. Azura with 6 arms, when delivering this punch, seemed as if trying to shatter the entire world with a single blow, unstoppable. This punch truly possesses the power to completely shatter a world, combining countless blood blades and the Azura's original intention of breaking boundaries, intended to smash all obstacles and achieve the true self. Great! Cassina the battle god joyfully watched this earth-shattering punch. This is definitely a punch that can bring pressure to Cassina the battle god, not just because of its power, but more importantly, the spirit and courage it contains. The killing intent of Azura, along with a certain mood that resonates with the hearts of Buddhist monks, gives this punch a power similar to the law of causality. When this punch is thrown, it will inevitably hit the opponent. When this punch hits the opponent, it will surely unleash more than 100% of its power. Any defensive god weapon cannot withstand the power of this punch. Even if a world stands in the way of this punch, it will be blasted open by it. The qualifications of the 10-sided demon god road, the divine curse nature of the 6-armed demon incarnation, have allowed Asura to transcend the limitations of the heavenly demon race, manifesting characteristics similar to the supreme supernatural powers of the Buddhist sect. Stop the killing. I'll guide you to the Pure Land. At times, the actions of Asuras may seem extremely cruel, but indeed they have saved countless mortals. It's a great calamity. It's also a great merit. In the grand scheme of things, the actions of Asuras align with certain profound principles recognized by Buddhism, so the 6-armed Asura holds a diamond rank within the Buddhist community. Well, of course, the Asuras themselves couldn't care less about this title. They are the fiercest heavenly demons in the endless god's domain, ready to kill anything and anyone. However, just a single punch, as powerful as a supreme Buddhist technique, wasn't enough to surprise Kasina the battle god to this extent, igniting his entire fighting spirit. Translated by Gravity Tales. On the stage of the battle god's grand martial arts tournament, Kasina the battle god was only this excited a few times during the finals. Even the Shura-breaking fist, capable of shattering the world with one punch, didn't come close to this level. At most, it just gave Kasina the battle god a little surprise. The reason that made Kasina the battle god reach the highest excitement was the cursed aura continuously emanating from the Shura's body when delivering this punch. If we rate the attack power of the Shura-breaking fist as a perfect score of 100, then the terrifying aura emanating suddenly from the Shura's body, gathering countless demonic curses, is beyond comparison in its level of strangeness, even more terrifying than the Asura's punch. Even Kasina the battle god had to tighten all muscles in his body, feeling as if facing a great enemy. Not only Kasina the battle god, but even the 12 nightmare sovereigns in the void felt their hearts racing and shivers running down their spines. Go die, bald donkey. That bald rascal is at it again. Indeed, only dead monks are good monks. In my tower, there's still a space. Some incomprehensible force tore through the barriers of time and space when Asura unleashed the Shura-breaking fist, and dark clouds gathered from all directions. The universe is above and below. Through ancient times to the present, it is the cosmos. And the masters of these thoughts and feelings seem to transcend the cosmic rules, projecting their powers collectively. Resentment and anger as if from the depths of the underworld, even the 12 nightmare sovereigns felt a sense of unease, continuously emerging. One of them almost silenced all the nightmare sovereigns, for it was that figure that one must not speak of or look at in the nightmare world. Ha! Asura himself was stunned by the punch he threw. How did his demon god martial art suddenly advance to this level? Her powerful 6-armed demon form did not attract the attention of all the realms and countless evil thoughts. This is a special level only found in the theory of the demon god martial art. It can only be achieved by reaching the 9th rank. She might need to achieve the 1,000-handed state. Why is it that when she throws this punch now, she feels like a great being from another time and space is watching her from behind? The massive evil thoughts surrounding her have boosted the power of this punch to a level that even Asura himself cannot withstand. Somehow, she feels like after throwing this punch, she will be struck down by a heavenly calamity. This is so unbelievable. Even someone as ruthless as Asura finds this world too surreal. Clearly, she has not cultivated the demon god martial art to this level. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.